At this moment, Uchiha Obito also made up his mind to sever grievances with Hitaki Kakashi. For a moment, Uchiha Obito, in the face of Hitaki Kakashi, Might Guy, Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, did not retreat at all. With Rinnegan in his left eye and Kamui Mangekyo Sharingan in his right, he seems to have decided that he is invincible. Hitaki Kakashi also made final preparations. He said to Might Guy, Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke, "Since you want to stop Obito, you have to do it with all your might." The mystery of Kamui has been solved, but even so, it is by no means easy to defeat him. In addition to formulating tactics against Kamui, we also need to guard against his Rinnegan's pupil power. Uchiha Sasuke nodded. Not bad. Rinnegan's pupil power is more difficult than Kamui's. Not only does it have the powerful ability of Shenluo Tianzhong and Universal Pull, but it can also devour chakra, ninjutsu, summoning, chakra weapons and other power zones. Master killed Pen 6 Paths by himself. I really don't know how he did it. Hitaki Kakashi smiled bitterly. Master Qian Yu's strength is naturally beyond our imagination. However, the four of us together, plus already have information on Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan, so there should be a chance to do it. He immediately stated his tactical plan, and Uchiha Obito didn't stop it either. Kakashi, you continue to think about your tactics. I want to see how you will deal with my power. Hitaki Kakashi said, "It's not me who will deal with you, but all of us will deal with you together." Obito, I'm sorry, it was you who told me to cherish and protect my companions, and even broke the rules and gave up the mission for this. Now I am inheriting your will to deny the present you. Uchiha Obito sneered. Stop talking so much nonsense. Bring it on. For a moment, Hitaki Kakashi and Uchiha Obito slammed towards each other. Two Mangekyo Sharingan, simultaneously blooming blood-red light. Fire style. Blast and flurry. Immediately, Uchiha Obito broke out his terrifying ninjutsu again. Combining the combination of Kamui and fire-style ninjutsu, violent hurricane and flames, it seems to tear and distort the space in an instant, and stormed towards Hitaki Kakashi. Hitaki Kakashi originally tried to resist with an earth-style earth flow wall. But seeing that terrifying power, it is impossible for ordinary earth-style to resist. Then, suddenly, he could only activate the pupil power of Kamui Mangekyo Sharingan. Kamui. Buzz. In an instant, the distorted space in front seemed to be restored again, as if the wrinkled paper was restored to its flatness, and the fluctuating water surface regained its tranquility. Or the spatial distortion caused by it disappeared, and the most terrifying power of the fire-style burst wind flurry also disappeared. The hurricane subsided, and the flames slammed into all directions. Sasuke, now is the time. Good. Uchiha Sasuke immediately burst out the power of Susanoo again, and an arrow of flame control burst out again. Uchiha Obito sneered. Is this trick again? Without any hesitation, he raised his arm in an instant and activated Rinnegan's pupil power. Shenluo Tianzhong. Boom, boom, boom. Immediately, Uchiha Sasuke's flame control arrow was blocked in an instant, and was immediately thrown out, and he counterattacked back. But at the same time, Naruto, Uzumaki Naruto had already finished his preparations, and in an instant another wind-style spiral shuriken shot away. At this point in time, it happened to be the moment when Uchiha Obito's Shenluo Tianzhong had just been released. Make him unable to use the power of Shenluo Tianzhong again. Uchiha Obito sneered. You underestimate Rinnegan's pupil power? He clapped his hands suddenly. Buzz. Another great ability of Rinnegan, sealing and printing to waste. Immediately, the wind-style spiral shuriken arrived in front of him, but it was stopped instantly, and the powerful chakra and power were swallowed up in an instant, and soon disappeared. But Hitaki Kakashi also seemed to have anticipated the blow. Immediately shouted again. Guy, oh. Might Guy suddenly burst out directly with the 8 Inner Gates Formation's physical secrets. Towards the peacock, immediately, boom, boom. The berserk chakra punched out, igniting the air, rubbing out a blazing flame, and scatter in all directions. The bursting fist like a peacock spreading its tail instantly blasted in the direction of Uchiha Obito. This is forcing him to use Kamui to dodge. But Uchiha Obito also knows that since Hitaki Kakashi knows the mystery of his Kamui, and he himself has a Kamui Mangekyo Sharingan, once he uses the ability of Kamui Hollow, he will definitely be targeted by the opponent. However, until now, he has no way to take over the Might Guy's offensive. The previous Shenluo Tianzhong and sealing technique absorption have already been used. Now, other powers can hardly resist Might Guy's violent physical attack. In desperation, he could only choose to use Kamui Hollow ability. Immediately, the whole body was submerged in the void, devoured and absorbed, and transferred into the Kamui space. However, he had just entered the Kamui space, but he saw a familiar figure. It turned out to be exactly Hitaki Kakashi himself. Uchiha Obito was taken aback suddenly. He had thought that Hitaki Kakashi would transfer Uzumaki Naruto or others to Kamui space in advance and wait. But unexpectedly, this time it turned out to be Hitaki Kakashi himself. Kamui's Mangekyo Sharingan's left eye cannot absorb itself. Kakashi, how did you do it? Hitaki Kakashi gasped slightly. Of course I have my own way. Uchiha Obito suddenly realized. You are Shadow Clone. He immediately saw through Hitaki Kakashi's plan, released Shadow Clone, and then the body released Kamui to transfer Shadow Clone to Kamui's space to wait. Next, Uchiha Sasuke, Uzumaki Naruto, and Might Guy attacked, just to force themselves to use Kamui and transfer to the Kamui space. Uchiha Obito sneered. You are still so cunning, but even if you cracked the pupil power of Rinnegan and Mangekyo Sharingan, but in this space, you are just a Shadow Clone, do you really think you can defeat me? Hitaki Kakashi shook his head. If I can do it, I will do it. Because this is the fate of both of you and me. In the Kamui space, Hitaki Kakashi and Uchiha Obito finally confront each other. As Hitaki Kakashi said, this is the fate of the two of them. This moment. What Hitaki Kakashi thought of was what Qian Yu had said to him. Qian Yu said at that time that the masked man should be dealt with by himself. This is my own destiny. Until today, Hitaki Kakashi finally understood the meaning of Qian Yu's words. Can't help but feel a lot of emotion again. Qian Yu really knew everything as in the legend. At this moment, he also understood why the mysterious masked man hated him so much since the night of Uchiha's genocide, and also understood what happened in the past scenes. But, in any case, today is the time to end it. This moment. Uchiha Obito also seems to have returned to the past. Under the leadership of 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, the scene of sparring with Hitaki Kakashi. For a moment, the two rushed towards each other very tacitly. Taijutsu, ninjutsu, ninjutsu. All kinds of crazy and fierce offensives broke out towards each other. In the sparring that year, Uchiha Obito was no match for Hitaki Kakashi at all. One is called a genius ninja, and the other is called a crane tail. But now, Uchiha Obito is already another Uchiha Madara, a terrifying existence capable of declaring war on the entire 5 major ninja kingdoms. Although Hitaki Kakashi's name is still loud, it seems to have fallen behind Uchiha Obito. It's not just a question of talent, of course. In this ninja world, besides blood, origin, family, and background, there are many other factors that can affect the strength. Such as talent, such as adventure, such as mentorship. For Hitaki Kakashi and Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Obito's blood origin, family background is actually not under Hitaki Kakashi. After all, no matter what he is also a member of the Uchiha clan, and the Sharingan, which is famous in the entire ninja world, will have a chance to open sooner or later. As for Hitaki Kakashi, although he is the son of Konoha's White Fang Hitaki Sakumo, the Hitaki family is not a famous family, and he does not have any strong background except his father. What's more, this father committed suicide when he was still in his early years. As for talent, Hitaki Kakashi is certainly far superior to Uchiha Obito. But Uchiha Obito came from behind, relying on his adventures and mentorship. In the Battle of Kanabibashi, Uchiha Obito should have died in such an unknown way. But he was favored by Uchiha Madara. 3. Ju fused his body and healed all his injuries, and because of Ju's possession, he got Senju Hashirama's body cells, chakra volume, vitality, recovery, and strength all soared crazily, and even awakened the ability of the wood-style secret technique. More importantly, having a Hashirama cell allows him to use Mangekyo Sharingan almost without any restrictions. Of course, there is another aspect because Mangekyo Sharingan's pupil power is also different, and Uchiha Obito's Kamui is precisely the most powerful and unsolvable one among them. Then he obtained countless ninjutsu and knowledge from Uchiha Madara, and even used the name of Uchiha Madara to hang out in the whole ninja world, but he was not exposed. It is conceivable how much his strength has expanded. Now Uchiha Obito, needless to say, not only manipulated Jinchuriki 6 paths, revived 10 tails, but also possessed Kamui Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan, fused Hashirama cells, and mastered their respective ninjutsu secrets. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is another Uchiha Madara. But in this Kamui space, Uchiha Obito also cannot use the ability of Kamui Hollow. Two people can only use their own ninjutsu to bombard each other. But he still has Rinnegan. What's more, Hitaki Kakashi is here, but it's just a shadow clone. Soon, Hitaki Kakashi was at a disadvantage. Uchiha Obito hesitated in his heart. It's not like he can't take out Hitaki Kakashi's shadow clone here. Instead, I was thinking about another question. That is the spell that Uchiha Madara implanted in his heart. This is the trump card that can control oneself. At the last critical moment, Uchiha Madara will inevitably activate this spell to control himself, and even force himself to sacrifice forcibly to resurrect himself. And this spell cannot be removed by itself, only through the hands of others. So, Uchiha Obito also tried to get Hitaki Kakashi to help him destroy it. But on the other hand, he hated Hitaki Kakashi. While hesitating, Hitaki Kakashi's shadow clone intensified, bursting forward with a stronger force. Uchiha Obito burst into anger for a while, and couldn't control that much anymore, and broke out with all his strength in an instant, hitting Hitaki Kakashi once again at a disadvantage. But at this moment, Hitaki Kakashi gasped heavily. It seems that you now have infinite power, Obito. Uchiha Obito sneered. I said it a long time ago, now you are no longer that genius ninja, and I am no longer that crane tail. Kakashi, do you think you can defeat me by cracking my Kamui with a shadow clone? Just a daydream. Hitaki Kakashi smiled slightly. Of course I understand that this is impossible, so this time. I also choose to trust my companions. Next moment. Buzz. In the space of Kamui, distortion happened again, and the figures of two people suddenly appeared here. It is Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke. The main body of Hitaki Kakashi and Might Guy stayed outside and waited. Uchiha Obito frowned. The main body outside activated Kamui again, and sent these two little ghosts in? Kakashi, it seems that your chakra quantity is good, and your control over Kamui is also good, you have really improved a lot. Hitaki Kakashi shook his head, it's all about the power of desperate explosion. However, the arrival of Naruto and Sasuke means that it's time for you to lose. Uchiha Obito laughed. Only with these two brats? You underestimate me, Kakashi, for a moment. Uchiha Obito suddenly launched his own wood-style secret pressure in the Kamui space. Wood-style. Cutting technique. Uchiha Sasuke immediately burst out the power of Susanoo, guarding Uzumaki Naruto and Hitaki Kakashi's shadow clone inside, resisting the onslaught of cutting technique. Afterwards, he stretched his bow and drew his arrow, and once again released the arrow with 10 lives. At the same time, Uzumaki Naruto also exploded with his own chakra and power, and the wind-style spiral shuriken also blasted out. The power of the two people merged again and turned into the most powerful combined ninjutsu. Scorch style. Come to Hayate Black Yashiro style. The joint attack of Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke once again exploded the power of Scorch style coming to Hayate Black Yashiro style. The original Uchiha Obito can easily avoid this blow using Kamui Hollow ability. But now, here inside Kamui's space, he simply cannot use the Hollow ability again. Of course, he can also escape and leave the Kamui space, but there are naturally Hitaki Kakashi and Might Guy waiting for him there. Uchiha Obito chose not to. On the one hand, it was because he didn't want to do this, and on the other hand, naturally, he still had his own goals that had not been achieved. Just at this very moment, boom, boom, boom. Scorch style is coming. Hayate Black Yashiro has roared in. This is a terrorist attack that can cause huge damage to the revived 10 Tails. Even Uchiha Obito is impossible to take lightly. But he just sneered, and then raised his arm, bursting out Rinnegan's pupil power. Shenluo Tianzheng. Boom. With a violent blow, the Scorch style came to Hayate Black Yashiro and instantly flew out. The flames and hurricane instantly scattered, turning the entire Kamui space into a sea of storm and flames. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke frowned. Uchiha Obito sneered. Kakashi, you have a good plan, but it's a pity you don't forget that even if I can't use Kamui Mangekyo Sharingan, I still have Rinnegan's pupil power. Hitaki Kakashi said, indeed, but you are still only one person. Naruto, Sasuke, let's fight according to the previously agreed tactics. Okay, Mr. Kakashi. For a moment. Hitaki Kakashi burst out with his lightning style chakra and ninjutsu. Lightning style. Lightning beast chasing teeth technique. Suddenly, from the palms of his hands, a powerful lightning-style chakra was released, turning into a series of thunder behemoths, and slammed towards Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Obito didn't take it seriously at all, snorted coldly, and immediately activated Rinnegan's pupil power sealing technique to absorb it, directly devouring and absorbing the Ultralisk chasing fang technique completely. But at this very moment, Uchiha Sasuke's flame control arrow has been shot. The timing is just right. Uchiha Obito didn't have time to absorb it, so he could only launch Shenluo Tianzhong again, and suddenly bounced Uchiha Sasuke's arrow. But as soon as it flew out, Uzumaki Naruto burst out the hands of Nine Tails Chakra in Nine Tails Chakra mode, and suddenly one after another huge Nine Tails Chakra arms slapped down. Uchiha Obito was taken aback, and finally scrambled for the first time. Suddenly flying back and dodging, he narrowly avoided the blow. But at this moment, Hitaki Kakashi suddenly burst out of the ground. Bind Uchiha Obito's feet instantly. This trick is actually not a high-end ninjutsu, and it is just a very low-level jutsu in the ninjutsu copied by Hitaki Kakashi. However, the key is to see where it is used. Boom. Uchiha Obito's body was immediately pulled underground by Hitaki Kakashi. It was directly buried in half. But Hitaki Kakashi himself broke free, and then, a powerful thunderlight condensed in his hands. It is his signature ninjutsu, Reikiri. Goodbye, Ren. In order to protect my current companions in the former you, I can only choose to kill the current you. Uchiha Obito's heart skipped a beat. In fact, at this time, he can still take it off. At worst, use Kamui again and return to the real world. But he did not dodge, but took the initiative to meet it. Then, Reikiri unsheathed, boom. A violent blow that pierced Uchiha Obito's body hard. This scene. It seems that time is frozen here, stagnant. The figures of Hitaki Kakashi and Uchiha Obito both stopped at this moment. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke also looked at the two quietly, and did not continue to act. Uchiha Obito was stunned for a moment, intense pain came from his heart. But he also seemed to be unable to sense it, because, the whole heart was blasted out by Reikiri. He lowered his head and looked, the part of his heart was completely empty, as if he had lost all flesh and blood. But, Uchiha Obito didn't just die. Instead, he spat out big mouthfuls of blood. But it flew back suddenly, breaking free from the range of Hitaki Kakashi Reikiri. However, in any case, it is impossible for an injury of this level to be unharmed. Uchiha Obito suddenly fell to his knees again. He spit out blood heavily, but there was a crazy smile on his face. Ha 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 ha. Kakashi, it seems that you are not as good as before, and you have to rely on the strength of two little devils to compete with me. And, don't you think that in this way, you win? The real battle has just begun. The next moment, Uchiha Obito suddenly launched the Kamui secret technique, and his figure disappeared in the Kamui space instantly. Hitaki Kakashi's shadow clone has also reached its limit. He fell to his knees and gasped for breath. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke stepped forward. Ms. Kakashi, isn't that guy dead? What kind of monster is he? Uchiha Sasuke snorted coldly. The heart has been pierced. Even if I don't die now, I can't live anymore. At most it's just lingering. Hitaki Kakashi shook his head. I have a bad feeling. What Obito just said does not seem to be alarmist. The last Reikiri, I clearly felt that he could have avoided it, and even if he couldn't avoid it, he could go out and talk with Kamui as he is doing now. But he greeted me instead, as if he was taking my Reikiri on his own initiative. It's just like, what? Nothing. What Hitaki Kakashi thought of at this moment was the scene when Nohara Rin died that year, which made him unforgettable all his life. The same is true for Rin Nohara, who took the initiative to meet her own Reikiri and chose to die calmly. The current Uchiha Obito has chosen to do the same. What is the reason for this? Is it a coincidence, or fate? What is Uchiha Obito doing this for? What is his purpose? And at this moment, Uchiha Obito, who reappeared in the present world, immediately looked at Ten Tails who was waking up. He uses the power of Hitaki Kakashi to remove the spell that Uchiha Madara had placed on his heart. Next, of course, is to become the leader of Project Tasuki no Mi. And the first step is to be the Jinchuriki of Ten Tails. With the help of Hitaki Kakashi, Uchiha Obito removed the heart charm left by Uchiha Madara. Then, he activated Kamui and reappeared in the real world. As for Hitaki Kakashi who unlocked the shadow clone, the main body immediately understood what happened in the Kamui space. Now, Hitaki Kakashi and Might Guy, who were waiting in this world, immediately saw Uchiha Obito, and the seriously injured Uchiha Obito reappeared and fell to the ground. Obito. Hitaki Kakashi frowned, and wanted to go up to make up the knife, but there was a little hesitation. Might Guy saw his hesitation and immediately said, Kakashi, let me come. He's about to step forward and end up with Uchiha Obito's life. However, at this time, all of a sudden, Geto statue finally woke up completely at this moment, and his form changed drastically. It was no longer the original human form, but Ten Tails swayed completely, causing the whole earth to collapse in the sky, the ultimate form of shaking. Its overall shape is like a huge bamboo shoot, with 10 tails growing behind it, and when it shakes, the sky falls apart. On the ferocious face, the bloody mouth is full of sharp fangs and teeth. And above the big mouth is a blood-red eye. It is the fusion of Sharingan and Rinnegan pupil power. It can be called all pupil power, even the ancestor of chakra. It can be called the original power. Reincarnation Sharingan. 10 tails is resurrected. Although, the 10 tails in this world are not even as powerful as the 10 tails in the original work. 10 tails in the original is a fusion of Gedo statue and 1 to 7 tails, plus a part of chakra from 8 tails and 9 tails. As for the 10 tails of this world, there are only Gedo statue, and the complete 1 tail, 4 tails and 5 tails chakra, and the other 6-tailed beasts are only partial chakra. In terms of strength, it is no stronger than the original world. However, once the 10 tails are successfully revived, it is essentially a fundamental improvement. Just like, no matter how weak the 6 paths powerhouse is, it is enough to crush all the sentient beings under the 6 paths. Among the strong who stepped into the realm of 6 paths Uchiha Obito is undoubtedly the weakest one. But he can also directly blast the impure world reincarnation bodies of Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama with one blow. Let Senju Hashirama, the god of ninjas, admit to himself that he's stronger than he was in his prime. This is a huge gap like an abyss. 10 tails, 6 paths. Looking down on all beings. 10 tails came back to life, and with a roar, everyone on the battlefield couldn't help being stunned. Fang Yu. And at this moment, Hitaki Kakashi activates Kamui and transfers Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke to the real world as well. Everyone saw this scene. For a moment, my heart was shaking and I was shocked. Forget about Uchiha Obito. The whole earth was shaking, and everyone was staggering and unable to stand steadily. But at this moment, Uchiha Obito exerted his last strength, jumped up suddenly, and flew above the revived 10 tails head. Hitaki Kakashi's heart moved, as if thinking of something. He understood what Uchiha Obito said last. What Obito seems to be doing, whatever it is, must be extremely dangerous. Do your best to stop him. Hitaki Kakashi shouted loudly, and immediately, everyone reacted. All kinds of violent ninjutsu poured out crazily, blasting towards 10 tails and Uchiha Obito above his head. However, 10 tails shook its 10 tails violently, creating unimaginable violent hurricanes and earthquakes, and the terrifying airwaves scattered in all directions, instantly dispelling the joint attacks of the entire vanguard of the Ninja Alliance and all the elite ninjas. At this moment, Uchiha Obito also immediately activated his final seal. 6 paths. 10 tails coffin. The knot seal launched by Uchiha Obito is the final seal of 10 tails Jinchuriki. Sealed the power of the revived 10 tails into his body, becoming the second true 10 tails Jinchuriki after Sage of 6 paths. Immediately, everyone was still shocked by the terrifying power of 10 tails resurrection. Then I saw another scene that was even more shocking. As soon as 10 tails' huge body appeared, it was swallowed and absorbed by Uchiha Obito violently, like a long whale sucking water. It was swallowed into his body frantically. It's like, Uchiha Obito's body is a black hole, which has the power to absorb everything. Just in an instant, the entire revived Shienwei had disappeared. But Uchiha Obito's body swelled wildly. In the end, it merged with the power of 10 tails and turned into a white transparent sphere, quietly suspended in midair. Hitaki Kakashi and everyone looked at this scene in shock. As if waiting for the final verdict. The next moment. D-flat. The white sphere suddenly exploded. Numerous crystal-like transparent crystals and white pure jade feathers floated down gently, and the white sphere completely disappeared. And what appeared on the spot was Uchiha Obito, who had been reborn from the ashes. It's just that at this moment, he is not the original Uchiha Obito at all. Wearing the robe of Sage of 6 Paths, he has Rinnegan in his left eye and Kamui Mangekyo Sharingan in his right eye. His whole body has turned into a white shape. On his shoulders are slender horns like 10 tails, and black spots appear on his back. Truth-seeking ball, the minister suspended in midair. Just like Uchiha Obito, suspended in midair overlooking the entire ninja world and sentient beings. At this moment, Uchiha Obito disappeared. 10 tails Jinchuriki, because Uchiha Obito was born. This also marks that the entire ninja world started from the era of Sage of 6 Paths, and the second Jinchuriki of 10 tails, the second strongman of 6 Paths level, has finally descended into this world again. All eyes are on 6 Paths Uchiha Obito, suspended in midair. For a moment, I didn't understand what happened. Uzumaki Naruto was shocked. Then, what kind of power is that? Did he devour the newly revived 10 tails? Hitaki Kakashi said. Don't know, but now Obito seems to have been reborn, all previous injuries have disappeared, and gained unimaginable horror. Conan sighed feebly. That's Jinchuriki from 10 tails. That's the so-called Six Paths realm. Uchiha Obito successfully became the Jinchuriki of 10 tails, officially entered the realm of 6 paths. This terrifying power spread out in an instant, making everyone feel an unimaginable sense of terror and deterrence. Conan explained. This is the so-called 10 tails Jinchuriki, or the 6 paths realm. Back then, I defeated 10 tails and successfully sealed him in my body, that is, the first 10 tails Jinchuriki in the history of ninja world. It was the deity of Sage of 6 paths. And now, Uchiha Obito is the second. To be honest, his current strength is probably beyond what we can imagine. Jiraiya frowned. Jinchuriki from 10 tails? It's like listening to myths and legends, the second sage of 6 paths. Conan said. However, his current power of 10 tails is not complete. He only has the full power of 1 tail, 4 tails and 5 tails. The other 6-tailed beasts only have partial power. 10 tails after the resurrection of tails is far from reaching the peak state, and the 10 tails Jinchuriki he has achieved is naturally impossible to be perfect. That is to say, compared with the level of Sage of 6 paths, he is far, far behind. However, for the ninjas in the entire ninja world, the current Uchiha Obito is indeed above everyone else. Conan's words shocked everyone. Although, she still kept a glimmer of hope for everyone. At least Uchiha Obito's 10 tails Jinchuriki isn't perfect, nor is its strength at its peak. But in any case, it is not something ordinary ninjas can imagine. 6 paths Uchiha Obito glanced at Conan. As expected of Nagato's former companion, he really knows about Rinnegan, 10 tails, and Sage of 6 paths. It's true that my current strength is far from perfect, but it's enough to crush the entire ninja world. Hitaki Kakashi looked at 6 paths Uchiha Obito at this moment. I can't help feeling very moved. The tail of the crane back then now has power comparable to that of a god. However, the same innocent, kind, and sunny boy back then has now become a cruel, bloody, cold, and tyrannical devil king. Things are different. At this time, 6 paths Uchiha Obito, aloof, proudly overlooks all living beings. It's like the existence of gods and demons, he said coldly. Now, Project Tasuki no Mi officially begins. Kakashi, Jiraiya, and all of you, can't be stopped. This desperate world is about to come to an end. And right now, not far away, there was also the sound that the ninja coalition forces of the 5 major countries had finally arrived. Come overwhelmingly. After ending the wars in all other battlefields, Kirigakure, Iwagakure, Cloud Shinobi Village, Sanagakure, Konoha Village, plus the Iron Kingdom and various other small countries, the entire Ninja Alliance has all arrived at the final battlefield. 5th Hokage Tsunade, 3rd Tsuchikage 2-day scale Onogi, 4th Raikage I, 5th Kazekage Gaara, plus Agent Mizukage Terumi Mei. At the moment when the Ninja Alliance arrived, only the moment when 6 paths Uchiha Obito was born was seen. The entire Ninja Alliance and the entire ninja world are on opposite sides. But at the moment, there is only one person on the other side. Although, at the moment, 6 paths Uchiha Obito is not quite human anymore. Tsunade and the others frowned as they looked at the tall man in front of them. That is, the real identity of the masked man? Uchiha Obito. As one of the leaders of the Ninja Alliance, Tsunade has of course received new information long ago. The entire ninja coalition, also under the intelligence sharing network of the headquarters of the base camp, knew everything that happened on the final battlefield. The real identity of the masked man is Uchiha Obito. And now, he has become 10 tails Jinchuriki, stepped into the realm of 6 paths, and has the power to destroy the world and suppress everything. This is the terrifying and powerful enemy that the entire Ninja Alliance has to face. 6 paths Uchiha Obito looked at the 5 cages in the entire Ninja Alliance. Oh. Is it finally here? That's fine. My current strength also requires all of you to gather together to be eligible to fight. Onoki said. So the so-called Uchiha Madara is you. What about the real Uchiha Madara? Why hasn't it appeared yet? 6 paths Uchiha Obito said coldly. Even if the real Uchiha Madara arrives, he is no longer my opponent. You don't understand at all. What is the Jinchuriki of 10 tails? What is the 6 paths realm? Now I don't have any ninja gods or Uchiha Madara anymore. Tsunade snorted. Crazy guy, have you ever seen the history of grandfather and Uchiha Madara's peak heyday? Terumi Mei also said, and don't forget, there is still one person in this world. As for you, You are just his defeated general, and you have suffered disastrous defeats in his hands several times. Six Paths Uchiha Obito sneered, Mizukage Qianyu? Indeed, he is a character, comparable to Senju Hashirama, Uchiha Madara. It's a pity that I have said that. Now my strength has long surpassed the category of ninjas, crossed the limit of the ninja world, and reached the pinnacle. Now I am the only existence in this ninja world, the second sage of Six Paths. For a moment, Fourth Raikage roared, stop talking nonsense with him, just kill him and end this farce. Gaara also said indifferently, I'm also planning to do that. For a moment, the original Vanguard unit and the entire ninja coalition joined together. The power of all the 5 major countries, each small country, and the entire ninja world has reached the final battlefield. Under the leadership and orders of Gokage, the final offensive was launched towards Six Paths Uchiha Obito. As the oldest, most senior, and oldest existence among the 5 cages, Third Tsuchikage and Onogi took the lead. As soon as you come up, it will be your trump card, the ultimate secret, and you will be eliminated from the Kong Dun secret. He flew up suddenly, soared into the air, and flew into the air like Six Paths Uchiha Obito. Then, with a sudden burst of its own mighty chakra and power. Dust escape. Original realm stripping technique. Boom. In an instant, a small pure white enchantment formed in the palms of his hands, and then burst out suddenly, spread out instantly, skyrocketed and extended, and bombarded in the direction of Six Paths Uchiha Obito. This is an absolutely terrifying blow capable of destroying everything in its molecular form and turning it into nothingness. One of the most powerful attacks under Six Paths. However, Six Paths Uchiha Obito didn't even use Rinnegan's pupil power, didn't activate the sealing spell sucking, devouring and absorbing chakra and ninjutsu. Instead, with a light wave of his hand, the truth-seeking ball behind him immediately turned into a huge black barrier, resisting in front of him, and the dust escape secret technique, which was powerful enough to shatter all phenomena, was easily blocked and intercepted. The next moment, it was instantly turned into nothingness by the black barrier of the truth-seeking ball, and it was completely cracked. What? Onogi, who is a 2-day scale, suddenly turned pale with fright and was extremely shocked. And on the entire ninja battlefield, all the ninjas were silent, dead silent. Is this the power of the Six Paths powerhouse? The entire ninja coalition, seeing that even Onoki's blood inheritance boundary and dust escape secret technique had no effect on Six Paths Uchiha Obito, was shocked and stunned for a while. Onogi himself, who was a 2-day scale, turned pale with fright. For him, this was also an unprecedented first encounter. Since second Tsuchikage Wu, that is, the master of Onogi of the 2 scales, created the dust escape secret art, it can be said that there has never been a miss. But now, Six Paths Uchiha Obito just mobilized the mysterious black sphere behind him to create a barrier, and easily intercepted and cracked the dust escape. What kind of power is that? How scary is Six Paths Uchiha Obito now? For a moment, the entire ninja coalition was dumbfounded. After all, even other people would not be able to unleash a more powerful offensive than the dust gun of Onoki. Fourth Raikage frowned. Don't be intimidated by him. Everyone attacks together, I don't believe he can stop everyone's attack. Yes, Heavenly Man. Immediately, the entire ninja alliance launched a fierce attack towards Six Paths Uchiha Obito. Among them, the leader is of course Wukage, and the most powerful and elite ninjas in the previous vanguards. Onoki of the 2-day scale once again launched his own blood succession, eliminating dust and escaping the secret technique. Dust escape. Original realm stripping technique. Fourth Raikage also broke out with his own lightning-style chakra mode. Tsunade launched medical ninjutsu, and took the lead in summoning Katsuyu from the wet bone forest, replenishing chakra and recovering injuries for all ninja coalition forces. Terumi Mei broke out one of her 2 blood succession limits. Lava style. Monster dissolving technique. Gaara also raised the sand in the gourd violently, and activated her own sand cavity secret technique. Wrist of the sand. Others Jiraiya, Hitaki Kakashi, Might Guy, Uchiha Sasuke, Uzumaki Naruto and others also broke out their own ninjutsu. For a moment, boom, boom. The terrifying power of the entire ninja coalition merged into one at the same time, turning into a violent offensive like a roaring tsunami, and bombarded towards Six Paths Uchiha Obito. Facing such an offensive, it is impossible for anyone to resist it. At least, not any ninja. Even legendary characters such as Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama are bound to be exhausted and may not be able to resist. However, Six Paths Uchiha Obito just still launched the truth-seeking ball behind him. With an instant thought, it turned into a barrier of black spheres, guarding itself within it. Countless violent chakra, ninjutsu, body art, crazily bombarded on the barrier of the truth-seeking ball, however, still only repelled 6 paths Uchiha Obito. It didn't really hurt him one bit. What? In an instant, the entire ninja coalition army couldn't help but turn pale with shock, as if they saw a ghost and couldn't believe it. Wukage couldn't help but widen his eyes and frown. Even facing Uchiha Madara, it is impossible to have such a terrifying gap. Is this the so-called 10 Tails Jinchuriki? This is the so-called 6 Paths realm. Onogi's face was also very ugly. That guy seems to have gained unimaginable power. He is not an ordinary ninja at all, and a strong man of this level can be called a real god. Tsunade also frowned and said, with so many people joining forces to attack, it still didn't hurt that guy? What the hell is that black thing? Conan said, that should be the truth-seeking ball that can only be made with the power of 6 paths. Its essence is the yin and yang escape technique above the 7 attributes chakra nature transformation. It can invalidate all ninjutsu, so no matter how powerful the chakra and ninjutsu we jointly attack are, it is meaningless to the truth-seeking ball created by the yin-yang escape technique. Before Nagato, he could only use this kind of power to create black sticks. Truth-seeking balls were rumored to be mastered only by Sage of 6 Paths. Now it seems that his words are not false. He has indeed become 10 Tails Jinchuriki, the second Sage of 6 Paths existence. Jiraiya couldn't help but change her expression after hearing this. Is it the yin-yang escape technique that is immune to all ninjutsu? If this is the case, it will be difficult to handle. Even if the strength of the ninja alliance is strong, this is a gap at the root of the art, which cannot be made up by quantity and strength at all. However, Conan, although the yin-yang escape technique is immune to all ninjutsu, what about taijutsu and shienjutsu? Conan shook his head and said, I don't know either, because I haven't really seen the truth-seeking ball either. Maybe it will be effective. At least, when ninjutsu is completely ineffective, physical and immortal techniques may be the only solution. Jiraiya nodded. In that case, let me try using Mount Myoboku's senjutsu first. And right now. Orochimaru also stepped forward, and said with a smile, I have also recently mastered the fairy art of Ryuchi Cave under the guidance of Master Qian Yu, and I can also help you, Jiraiya. 6 Paths Uchiha Obito saw 2 people eager to try. Although his face was still calm, he even snorted coldly. But there was a slight movement in my heart. Of course he knew that immortal arts and physical arts could indeed compete against the truth-seeking ball's all-time success. However, if the body technique is to fight in close quarters, it will also be destroyed by the truth-seeking ball. If it touches the truth-seeking ball and expands, even if the truth-seeking ball can be broken, the caster himself will also be smashed to pieces. So after becoming 10 Tails Jinchuriki and stepping into the realm of 6 Paths, what 6 Paths Uchiha Obito fears the most is the power of immortal art. It's just that he didn't expect that he would be discovered so soon. This is partly because Conan is in the enemy camp, and she has a certain understanding of the power of Rinnegan and 6 Paths. On the other hand, people like Jiraiya and Orochimaru are very good at fairy arts and have rich combat experience. After hearing Conan's information, they immediately analyzed the countermeasures and tactics. Might Guy also laughed and said, if ninjutsu doesn't work, let me try my taijutsu too. Tsunade said, then I should try my physical skills. For a moment. In the entire ninja coalition, ninjas who are good at physical attacks such as taijutsu and ninja tools stepped forward one after another, preparing to launch a fierce attack on 6 Paths Yozaiba Obito. And at the same time, Jiraiya and Orochimaru, 2 ninjas who are skilled in senjutsu, also charge forward, ready to see if Sage Mode will work against 10 Tails Jinchuriki. However, just when the final battle is about to break out, the figure of a man finally descended on the final battlefield. Had a great time, Uchiha Obito. 6 Paths Uchiha Obito's complexion suddenly changed. And all the ninja coalition forces also looked up at the man's figure. For a moment, everyone was shocked, their eyes widened in awe. That man, of course, is Uchiha Madara. Just when the entire ninja coalition was analyzing the abilities and weaknesses of 6 Paths Uchiha Obito, just when everyone was preparing to test it out with senjutsu and physical techniques other than ninjutsu, the man finally reached the final battlefield. Of course he is Uchiha Madara. For a moment, whether it was 6 Paths Uchiha Obito or the entire ninja coalition, everyone couldn't help showing shock and awe in their eyes. After all, this man's name is really too shocking. Rumor has it that only Senju Hashirama, the god of ninjas, can be compared to him. The 2 joined forces to quell the chaotic times of the entire Sengoku era, ended the era of killing and blood, created Konoha Village, and established various orders and systems in the ninja world. It can be said that Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama are the founders of the entire ninja world today. Uchiha Madara didn't care about the entire ninja alliance. Instead, he looked in the direction of Six Paths Uchiha Obito. He said coldly, "It seems that you really have your own idea now. Uchiha Obito, you betrayed me and let yourself become the Jinchuriki of 10 tails in advance?" Six Paths Uchiha Obito calmed down. He said indifferently, "There is no such thing as betrayal or betrayal. The relationship between you and me is just mutual use. The word betrayal is between companions. Will you regard me as a companion?" Uchiha Madara snorted and said with a mocking smile, "That makes sense. It seems that you are no longer the naive and childish brat you were back then." Six Paths Uchiha Obito said, "I have walked half my life in the ninja world under the name of Uchiha Madara, and now I have experienced even more things than you. Uchiha Madara, although I agree with your project Tasuki no Mi, it doesn't mean that I will always obey your orders. The person who executes the final plan should be me instead of you." Uchiha Madara's heart moved slightly. Although he had expected it, he didn't expect Uchiha Obito to do it so fast and so brilliantly. However, Uchiha Madara is not in any panic, because he has always had a trump card to use against Uchiha Obito. So, he smiled slightly and said, "Very good, yeah. Since this is the case, at least for now we are still in a cooperative relationship. Just clean up the battlefield a little bit." Now, the entire ninja alliance faced an enemy at the Six Paths level, Six Paths Uchiha Obito, the 10 tails Jinchuriki, and already felt inexplicable pressure. Now, plus a legendary Uchiha Madara, it is conceivable what the mood of the entire ninja coalition is now. But at this moment, another group of new troops arrived, but they were not the reinforcements of the ninja alliance. It was the remaining members of the Akatsuki organization. Red Sand Scorpion, Deidara, Kakuzu, Black Zetsu and White Zetsu, and another Uzumaki White Zetsu. In front of these people, there are two other members of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Madara's younger brother, Uchiha Izuna from Impure World Reincarnation, and Uchiha Shisui. These two people are also the last two of the Uchiha clan that have not been sealed. When the Impure World Reincarnation was released before, Uchiha Madara used the Impure World Reincarnation to release them out of control. At this moment, they followed Uchiha Madara to the final battlefield. This is the final battle. The enemy includes Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara, Uchiha Izuna, Uchiha Shisui for Uchiha, plus Kakuzu, Deidara, Red Sand Scorpion, Black Zetsu, White Zetsu, Scroll White Zetsu named Afei, and others. Although the number is still not large, each of Six Paths Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara has the power to counter the entire ninja alliance. All the ninja coalition forces were calling for that man's name in their hearts. Where is Mizukage-sama? Why hasn't Lord Qian-Yu come yet? Only he can contend against Uchiha Madara, only he can defeat 10 tails Jinchuriki, Six Paths Uchiha Obito. This moment, in the headquarters of the 5 major powers of the ninja alliance, in the base camp. Qian-Yu naturally also saw this scene based on the intelligence network. Knowing that Six Paths Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara have both reached the final battleground. Indeed, now is also the time to start the final decisive battle. Then, he said to Nara Shikaku, Yamanaka Haichi, and Mabui from Cloud Shinobi Village, "It's time for me to go and complete the final battle. I'll leave it to you here." Nara Luju nodded. "Be careful, Mr. President." Mabui also said, "Master President, how do you plan to get there?" Qian-Yu glanced at her and said with a smile, "Didn't you have a gift from heaven?" Mabui was taken aback. Indeed, it is a secret technique that can teleport any item to any place, but it is only limited to items, and human beings cannot resist this level of damage. Only the strongest shield body of Lord Third Raikage can resist it a little bit, and it is the only successful case. Qian-Yu smiled and said, "Don't worry, my body will not be worse than Third Raikage. Is it impossible for me to reach the battlefield instantly by other methods?" Mabui froze for a moment, then nodded. "Indeed. However, your body." Qian-Yu waved his hand. "Okay, follow my prison." Mabui could only say, "Okay. Then." Mabui immediately activated her heavenly sending technique, and Qian-Yu was located in the enchantment she arranged, and then the surroundings began to burst into bright white light. The next moment, as if the void was twisting, the entire time and space shrank into an inch, and the infinite light quickly passed by his eyes. Qian-Yu crossed an unknown distance in an instant. The moment he opened his eyes again, he found himself on the final battlefield. Is this the Tiansong technique? It's really amazing. It should be similar to Flying Thunder God technique, right? Qian Yu is still studying the mysteries of Tiansong technique. On the entire battlefield, seeing his arrival, there has already been an uproar. The entire ninja coalition army was immediately overjoyed, cheering wildly, cheering and excited one by one. It's Mizukage-sama. No, the president is here. Lord Qian Yu. Great, we are saved. Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara, your opponents have arrived. Among the five shadows, everyone also smiled, seeing the hope of victory in the war. And the other side, headed by Six Paths Uchiha Obito, all members of the Akatsuki organization changed their expression slightly. Uchiha Madara was also stunned for a moment, and then his eyes lit up, igniting an unprecedented fighting spirit. Qian Yu, you are finally here. Come on, fight me. With Qian Yu reaching the final battlefield, the entire Fourth Ninja World War has reached its final climax, and at the same time it is approaching its finale. At least, most of the Ninja Alliance think so. Six Paths Uchiha Obito saw Qian Yu's figure, his expression changed immediately, but then he let out a sneer. HMPH, is it finally here? Let so many people charge forward, is it to test our ability, and then defeat each one by ourselves? What a cunning man. It's a pity that it's useless. The strength I have gained has long been beyond your imagination. Qian Yu glanced at him and smiled slightly. Uchiha Obito? It's just my defeated opponent. Do you think you can defeat me this time by becoming 10 Tails Jinchuriki and stepping into the Six Paths realm? Six Paths Uchiha Obito sneered, of course. You don't understand at all. What is the real power of Six Paths? Qian Yu smiled and shook his head. The one I don't understand is you. Uchiha Madara said in a deep voice. Are you the president commander of the 5 major ninja coalition forces, and now Kirigakure's 5th Mizukage Qian Yu? I've always heard of your name, and finally let me see it. Qian Yu glanced at Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara, indeed I finally met. You've been waiting for me to show up before thinking about showing up, right? It's a pity that Uchiha Obito became 10 Tails Jinchuriki ahead of time and stepped into the realm of Six Paths, which ruined your plan and forced you to show up early. Uchiha Madara's heart moved slightly. Oh? You seem to know everything? Qian Yu said with a smile. You can ask this ninja world, I really know everything. Uchiha Madara laughed. So, you should also know all my plans? If that's the case, why did Project Tasuki no Mi develop to where it is now? Why was Uchiha Obito allowed to become Jinchuriki of 10 Tails? Why was I allowed to be summoned by Impure World Reincarnation? Why was the Fourth Ninja World War allowed to happen? Qian Yu smiled. Uchiha Madara, you know too little. Even if I want to explain it to you, you still can't understand. Uchiha Madara's face suddenly changed. He thinks he has mastered the truth of the entire ninja world, and even sees through the stone tablet left by Sage of Six Paths. For the creation myth of the ninja world, Otsutsuki Kagaya, the sacred tree, 10 Tails, Sage of Six Paths, etc., the entire ninja world no one knows better than yourself. But now, Qian Yu actually said that he knew too little, too little. What Qian Yu said was the truth. Uchiha Madara has always been living in the calculations of others, of course Qian Yu knows this most clearly. As for Uchiha Madara's question, Qian Yu had indeed calculated it long ago. In fact, if Qian Yu wanted to, he could completely prevent Uchiha Obito from becoming 10 Tails Jinchuriki, prevent him from stepping into the realm of Six Paths, and even prevent Uchiha Madara's resurrection in advance. But he chose to let it all happen. The reason is that he really knows too much. Even know the origin and truth hidden behind the entire ninja world. Why didn't Qian Yu stop the birth of 10 Tails? It is because Qian Yu understands that the ninja world needs the power of 10 Tails. Requires the birth of the power of Six Paths. Why? Because you have to deal with more terrifying and powerful enemies. No one knows better than him how many terrifying powers are hidden behind Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara, and even Black Zetsu's conspiracy, Otsutsuki Kagaya. Otsutsuki planet, because of Sutsuki clan. On the moon, there are Otsutsuki Sharon, descendants of Otsutsuki Hamura. In the starry sky, Otsutsuki Kaguya's Otsutsuki Jinshi, Otsutsuki Momoshiki, Otsutsuki Urashiki and others are still coming. Even in this ninja world, the most feared enemy, Otsutsuki, is always dormant. To deal with these people, apart from his own power, the power of 10 Tails and Six Paths are indispensable. Only Six Paths can compete with Six Paths. Only the power of the Divine Tree can counter the Divine Tree. Only by gaining the power of Otsutsuki can we compete against the Otsutsuki clan. Instead of collecting tail beasts, resurrecting 10 tails, and gaining the power of 6 paths, it is better to use the hands of people like Uchiha Madara, Obito, and others to do this. Even, the resurrection of Otsutsuki Kagaya was just a part of Qian Yu's plan. Of course, at this time, there is really no way to tell Uchiha Madara, because the plan is too complicated and too huge. Uchiha Madara doesn't even understand the first layer, let alone Qian Yu's plan now. If there is an exploitation chain, Nagato and Akatsuki are the first layer, Uchiha Obito is the second layer, Uchiha Madara is the third layer, and Black Zetsu and Otsutsuki Kagaya are the fourth layer. Then Qian Yu is at least at the fifth level. There is no way to explain this level of complexity to Uchiha Madara. All Qian Yu's words are not to anger Uchiha Madara. But the truth. Uchiha Madara snorted coldly. You think you know everything? I'd like to see how you can deal with our power alone. Qian Yu smiled slightly. You're wrong, I'm never alone. Uchiha Madara laughed loudly and said, you mean these mobs, ants? Even if they go together, they can't do anything to me at all. Qian Yu shook his head again. You were wrong again. I'm not talking about the Ninja Alliance either. Of course there will be your old friend to deal with you. Orochimaru. Orochimaru stepped forward and smiled. Yes, Mr. President. Let's start. Good. Orochimaru clapped his hands together violently. Snapped. 3 coffins suddenly broke through the ground, rose from the ground, and landed on the final battlefield. And after the coffin lids of the 3 coffins were broken open, the figures of 3 men walked out from inside. For a moment, everyone on the entire battlefield was shocked and amazed. Those 3 men are first Hokage, Senju Hashirama, second Hokage, Senju Tobirama, and fourth Hokage, Namikaze Minato. For a moment, the entire battlefield, especially the ninjas in Konoha village, froze for a moment, and then erupted into cheers like a tsunami. Orochimaru laughed and said, using Yakushi Kabuto, you unraveled the ghoul seal and released Sarutobi Hiruzen from the impure world reincarnation. Do you think I can't do it? Uchiha Madara, this is a gift for you, 3-generation Hokage-sama. Orochimaru under Qian Yu's order, impure world reincarnation produced 3 ancestors Hokage. Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobirama and Namikaze Minato. So far, Hokage of Konoha village has appeared on this battlefield. However, Sarutobi Hiruzen has been sealed after being defeated again. Uchiha Madara looked towards Senju Hashirama's direction, and couldn't help showing a burning fighting spirit. I see, Qian Yu, you prepared such a great gift for me. In that case, Hashirama, come fight me again. Senju Hashirama glanced at Uchiha Madara, sighed and said, Madara, you bastard, why are you so dishonest when you die? Uchiha Madara sneered. Hashirama, you don't know anything about what I'm going to do. Now my strength is beyond your imagination. Hashirama, your power was always above mine, but it's different now. I've gained power beyond your imagination. Now, no one can stop me. Qian Yu said with a smile. That's just right, it will give you a chance to avenge your shame. And Uchiha Izuna looked at Senju Tobirama of Impure World Reincarnation, and couldn't help but sneered. Senju Tobirama. Back then I was careless and lost to your flying thunder god / and died with hatred. Now it's time to get back the debt. Senju Tobirama said indifferently. You are still careless on the battlefield, it seems that you are nothing more than that. If you want to continue fighting, then I will accompany you at any time. As for Namikaze Minato, he shook his head. Hey, it seems that there is no war in any era. However, Obito, I never thought that the masked man who launched the Nine Tails Rebellion and invaded Konoha village would be you. 6 paths Uchiha Obito sneered. Namikaze Minato, now you don't have to put on airs of a mentor. There is nothing to say between you and me. That's right, I started the Nine Tails Rebellion, and you, Uzumaki Kushina, were also killed by me. If you want to take revenge, you can do it anytime. Namikaze Minato sighed. It really is you. I didn't expect that young man who was willing to help others and had a dream in his heart would become like this step by step. Even because of Lin's death, you shouldn't release resentment and hatred to the entire ninja world, Obito, it's wrong to do so. Uchiha Obito laughed and said, I told you, Namikaze Minato, don't put on airs like a teacher anymore. The me now is no longer the simple and stupid guy the first was back then. With your current strength, you are no longer my opponent at all. Hitaki Kakashi said, Minato-sensei, I'm sorry, I didn't expect things to turn out like this. Uzumaki Naruto was shocked. 4th Hokage-sama? The hero who saved the village from the Nine Tails Rebellion and sacrificed himself. Namikaze Minato looked at Uzumaki Naruto with a gentle smile. Naruto, you've grown so big, he's turned into a great man and ninja. I'm sorry, but as your father, I couldn't grow up with you. Uzumaki Naruto was dumbfounded. You, what did you say? You are mine. Namikaze Minato smiled slightly. Yes, you are my son, Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto fell into a state of shock for an instant, unable to abolish himself. Jiraiya sighed. Minato, it was teacher Sarutobi's decision not to tell him Naruto's life experience. He said it was to protect Naruto, but now it seems that there may be other purposes. It's just that I didn't take good care of you as a disciple at that time. Now, I can only take care of Naruto as much as possible to make up for it. Namikaze Minato laughed. Mr. Jiraiya, how can I blame you? Also, seeing that Naruto is growing so well now, I know it's all thanks to you, teacher, and I should thank you. Uzumaki Naruto hasn't quite recovered yet. I am the son of Master 4th Hokage? Jiraiya, Namikaze Minato, Hitaki Kakashi all looked at him. That's right, Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto wanted to laugh for a moment, but tears fell down involuntarily. I don't even know what to say, what to think, why is this happening? Namikaze Minato said. I'm sorry, Naruto, I sealed the Nine-Tails demon fox in your body without your permission back then, but I had no choice but to. The purpose is that one day, you can successfully master the power of Nine-Tails to fight against the masked man who invaded Konoha. Now it seems that you have done it. But, for this matter, you must have suffered unimaginable pain, right? Uzumaki Naruto wiped away his tears and gradually smiled. Yes, but now I have endured the pain and accepted my identity. Besides, I am the son of the 4th Hokage, so of course I should be strong. Namikaze Minato smiled softly. You are indeed a strong boy, Naruto. Just at this very moment, Uchiha Madara couldn't hold back any longer, and suddenly launched a fierce attack towards Senju Hashirama. At the same time, Senju Tobirama also rushed towards Uchiha Izuna again, two brothers against two brothers, as if the Sengoku troubled times of the year, the dispute between the Senju clan and the Uchiha clan was repeated. On the other side, Uchiha Shisui also charged in the direction of Namikaze Minato. Namikaze Minato said to Uzumaki Naruto, sorry, Naruto, let's have a good chat after the war is over. He immediately counterattacked Uchiha Shisui as well. Uzumaki Naruto just wanted to help. The remaining Akatsuki members, Kakuzu, Red Sand Scorpion, Deidara, Black Zetsu, White Zetsu, Afei, etc. also launched a fierce attack on the Ninja Alliance. At the same time, Six Paths Uchiha Obito summoned countless split bodies of 10 tails, turned into a terrifying torrent that destroyed everything, and fought towards the direction of the Ninja Alliance. Immediately, the final battlefield broke out completely, and all the Ninja Coalition forces fought fiercely with these 10 tails divisions. Uzumaki Naruto, Jiraiya, Hitaki Kakashi, the 5 Kages of the major countries, and all the elite ninjas also joined the battlefield. And Six Paths Uchiha Obito, facing Qian Yu, said viciously, Qian Yu, it's time for us to end all grievances. The humiliation and hatred I received from you before, now it's time to give it back to you. Let me show you, what is the real power of Six Paths. Come on. This moment, Qian Yu finally showed his true Six Paths power. Same truth-seeking ball ability, same 10 tails Jinchuriki, even, compared to Six Paths Uchiha Obito is more powerful. Hand of 10 tails chakra. This is the exclusive power of 10 tails Jinchuriki. In an instant, the strength of the two people collided. Qian Yu's Six Paths power even crushed Six Paths Uchiha Obito, and immediately knocked his 10 tails chakra's hand out, taking advantage of the momentum and also smashing Six Paths Uchiha Obito also blasted out. Boom. With a loud bang, Six Paths Uchiha Obito was knocked out and flew hundreds of meters away. For a moment, not to mention Six Paths Uchiha Obito, even Uchiha Madara, who was fighting Senju Hashirama on the side, couldn't help being stunned. Then, what is that? Same 10 tails Jinchuriki, but the power of Six Paths is still above Uchiha Obito. Where did he get the power of Six Paths? Six Paths Uchiha Obito was also extremely shocked, but he is 10 tails Jinchuriki after all now, his body is almost immortal, possessing endless vitality and recovery power. Although he was blasted out, he quickly got up again. What kind of power is this? Six Paths Qian Yu smiled slightly. Same power, why can't you recognize it? I am also the power of the orthodox 10 tails Jinchuriki, Six Paths. Six Paths Uchiha Obito was furious. Impossible. You don't have the power of Gedo statue and 9-tailed beasts, how can you get the power of Six Paths? Qian Yu smiled. Uchiha Obito, So I say you don't know anything about the truth of this ninja world. Now, let me show you what is the real power of six paths. Now, when Qian Yu was fighting six paths Uchiha Obito on other battlefields, the battles became more and more intense. The battle between Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara is, of course, the most terrifying and peak battle besides Qian Yu and six paths Uchiha Obito. Although Senju Hashirama at this time is only the body of impure world reincarnation, and has not reached the peak and heyday of his life, but the god of ninja is the god of ninja after all. His power is still unimaginably terrifying. The current impure world reincarnation, improved by Orochimaru and co-directed by Qian Yu, has reached its true peak. However, it is still impossible for Senju Hashirama to obtain the same power emperor as before. Moreover, in fact, impure world reincarnation has different effects on the strength of each ninja. In the original, such as Uchiha Itachi, impure world reincarnation is an epic enhancement for him. First of all, he was seriously ill and dying, and gained infinite vitality after impure world reincarnation. His chakra amount is not high, and he got unlimited chakra after impure world reincarnation. Not to mention the spirit, physical strength, etc., all of which perfectly made up for the shortcomings in life. Opening Amaterasu Tsukuyomi before death will be weak, and Amaterasu Tsukuyomi is the last trump card. But in the state of impure world reincarnation, Tsukuyomi Amaterasu doesn't want to put money like crazy. What distinguished heavenly gods, Susanoo, and Izanami use it as they say. However, for most ninjas, impure world reincarnation isn't all about strengthening. The most obvious one is probably the existence of Senju Hashirama. He was known as the god of ninjas during his lifetime, and his biggest advantage is his terrifying vitality and resilience, and his almost unlimited amount of chakra, crushing all powerful enemies. After the impure world reincarnation, all these advantages were wiped out. In other words, it is an improvement for others, but for Senju Hashirama, it doesn't mean much. On the contrary, because the upper limit of strength is suppressed, it is still unable to exert its full strength. On this point, Uchiha Madara also once said to Senju Tobirama that the two of you brothers cannot play to the peak strength before birth, so this kind of words is beneficial to me. But even so, Senju Hashirama still possesses unimaginable terrifying strength. Once the wood-style secret technique came out, it overwhelmed the entire battlefield. The birth of the wood-style tree world swept and suppressed a large army of 10 tails splinters in an instant. Then he turned on wood-style wooden golem jutsu, and confronted Uchiha Madara's full-body Susanoo, which made all the ninjas on the battlefield dumbfounded. The battle between Qian Yu and Six Paths Uchiha Obito was actually at a higher level. After all, both of them had stepped into the Six Paths realm. However, now it's just a confrontation between truth-seeking ball and 10 tails chakra, and it seems that the scale is not as good as Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara. For a while, boom, boom. The entire battlefield was shaken by the terrifying power of the two men. The ground was trembling, the sky was shaking, all the ninjas could only retreat wildly, not daring to approach. And the other side, Senju Tobirama and Uchiha Izuna are also in the fight. The two are also old rivals, and they have been against each other since the Sengoku era. Although they are all from impure world reincarnation at the moment, the hatred and anger in their hearts are even more intense, especially Uchiha Izuna, because he died at the hands of Senju Tobirama before. At this time he broke out with all his strength, and also opened Susanoo, defense Senju Tobirama's flying thunder god /raid. But Senju Tobirama is not vegetarian either. In addition to flying thunder god, his various forbidden techniques are also everything. Directly as surprise teleportation, and then launch the forbidden technique of tandem paper bombs, blowing Uchiha Izuna's Susanoo to pieces. This move is a move of mutual destruction, but Senju Tobirama is also the body of impure world reincarnation at this time, and he is not afraid of affecting himself at all. Most importantly, hit your opponent hard, then get your allies to seal them away as quickly as possible. However, although half of Uchiha Izuna's body was shattered by the blast, he still broke free when the sealing class stepped forward. Continue to roar, and rush to the past with Senju Tobirama. At the same time, 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, resurrected for the first time, is in a fierce battle with Uchiha Shisui of impure world reincarnation. In fact, the two have many similarities. For example, they are all known as genius ninjas. And they all excel at speed. Namikaze Minato is known as Yellow Flash, because of the first speed. And Uchiha Shisui also has the title of Instant Shisui, resounding throughout the ninja world. So as soon as the two came up, they started a speed duel. In the end, whoever wins and who loses can be said to be the #1 speed in the ninja world in the true sense. However, Uchiha Shisui's flicker technique is just an ordinary body flicker technique after all. Although it is extremely fast, it still needs time to move. It is still incomparable to the Flying Thunder God technique in the true sense of space teleportation. So soon, Uchiha Shisui fell into a disadvantage. He knew that he couldn't beat the Yellow Flash in the speed competition, so he also burst out the pupil power of Mangekyo Sharingan, and activated Susanoo to prepare for a fight to the death. However, at this moment, Namikaze Minato has turned on the Nine Tails chakra mode. To the astonishment of Uzumaki Naruto and many ninja coalition forces, Namikaze Minato successfully awakened Nine Tails chakra mode after his death. Uzumaki Naruto is fighting against the Ten Tails split body army. At this moment, he saw his father Namikaze Minato, who had just met, and turned on the Nine Tails chakra mode. For a moment, he was both shocked and delighted. "Dad, you also awakened the Nine Tails mode?" Namikaze Minato smiled slightly. "I split Nine Tails chakra into two, originally because I was afraid that you would not be able to bear the full power of Nine Tails, so I sealed the other half in my sea. But after death, I also managed to obtain the power of Nine Tails." Uzumaki Naruto overjoyed. "Great. This way, we can fight side by side." The Nine Tails in the two bodies also re-encountered for the first time in more than 10 years. Tailed beasts can communicate with each other through spiritual power. What's more, these two Nine Tails are originally the same person. "Hey, my other half, didn't expect you to reconcile with that kind of guy?" Yin Nine Tails said. "It's a long story. I was sealed in the stomach of Shinigami by the ghoul and Namikaze Minato together. In that kind of place, the hatred will only become more and more terrifying and violent, and finally I fell into deeper despair, and the choices I made were only for a better existence." He was talking about being, not being alive. It's because in Shinigami's stomach, it's already dead. Of course, tailed beasts are different from humans, they are originally created by chakra. Even if you die, you will be resurrected again after a while. So the current Yin Nine Tails, unlike the Namikaze Minato produced by impure world reincarnation, can be re-entered into the present world. Yin Nine Tails said, "My other half, I can see your thoughts now. In fact, after all, you also hate Uchiha Madara and that masked man, right? It's better to fight side by side like me, to defeat that kind of guy." Yang Nine Tails was silent. In fact, he had long thought of reconciling with Uzumaki Naruto. It's just that his character is too arrogant, and he can't take the initiative to speak at all. At this time, Yin Nine Tails, as his other half, gave him a step down. Uzumaki Naruto is overjoyed. "Nine Tails in me, I always want to fight with you." "It's like Uncle Bai and Hachi." Yang Nine Tails snorted. "That's Gyuki's own idea, what does it have to do with me?" Eight Tails Nyukido. "Kurama, you are still so arrogant, you obviously agreed with the idea of another half body, right?" Kurama furious. "Shut up, you octopus," Uzumaki Naruto said. "Huh? Kurama? Is that your name?" Kurama snorted and didn't answer. Eight Tails Kaukido. "That's right, we Tails also have names, but it's a pity that humans only know how to call us Tails." Uzumaki Naruto said with a smile. "Kurama, what a good name, I'll call you that too in the future, Tail." Yang Nine Tails felt another twitch in his heart, but he still snorted. Yin Nine Tails said with a smile. "We need power most now, another me. Let's lend Uzumaki Naruto power for a while." Yang Nine Tails said. "I said, there is nothing I can do about it." Uzumaki Naruto, "Remember, I'm only lending you my power temporarily, and I'll return it after defeating Uchiha Madara." Uzumaki Naruto smiled happily. "Well, anyway, it's great to fight alongside you." Yang Nine Tails snorted, but also showed a smile in his heart. For a moment, Uzumaki Naruto suddenly finally broke the seal that had been sealed for more than 10 years. Subsequently, click, click, the sound of seals being undone came one after another, and the seals in Uzumaki's form were cracked layer by layer, and the prison that had been restraining and suppressing the Nine Tails Fox was suddenly opened. Uzumaki Naruto opened his arms, and Kurama, the Nine Tails Fox behind him, was finally free. Immediately, the Berserk chakra erupted crazily, and all of them merged with Uzumaki Naruto's own chakra, perfectly blending, and in an instant, the Nine Tails chakra mode on Uzumaki Naruto was upgraded again. At this moment, Uzumaki Naruto has finally reached the true perfect Nine Tails Jinchuriki form. This is the so-called Kurama mode. Boom. 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 The violent chakra and power erupted in an instant, and Uzumaki Naruto was like a golden body, full of unimaginable energy, and his strength had increased by an unknown number of times. Namikaze Minato was also overjoyed. "Naruto, you have finally fully mastered the Nine Tails mode. This is the perfect Nine Tails Jinchuriki form, which no one has ever been able to achieve in the history of the ninja world. As expected of my son, Uzumaki Naruto smiled and said, "Okay. Dad, there are 2 Nine Tails, no, Kurama, it's time for our 4-person team to charge. Let's fight together." "Good." Immediately, the father and son Uzumaki Naruto and Namikaze Minato lightly bumped their fists, and the 2 Nine Tails in their bodies were immediately connected to chakra. The violent power of Nine Tails blended and spread instantly, causing the entire battlefield to be pervaded and suppressed by this terrifying force. This moment, even Six Paths Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara couldn't help but frown sideways. Perfect Nine Tails Jinchuriki. That's a realm that even Uzumaki Mito hasn't reached. I didn't expect that kid to succeed. Uchiha Madara frowned slightly. Senju Hashirama smiled. Uzumaki Naruto, the son of 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato, and he is also a descendant of the Uzumaki clan like Mito. Six Paths Uchiha Obito also looked back, his face changed slightly. That guy Uzumaki Naruto actually did it. Qian Yu smiled slightly. Of course he was not surprised by this, and it can even be said to be a matter of course. Uzumaki Naruto is the reincarnation of Ashura, not to mention conquering Nine Tails. The future potential is not limited by the perfect Nine Tails Jinchuriki at all. The current him, Yinwang, is just still on the rise. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Sasuke couldn't help frowning slightly. That Naruto guy, has he finally become the perfect Nine Tails Jinchuriki? It seems that you can't underestimate him anymore. If this continues, I'm afraid his strength will no longer be inferior to mine. It's time to awaken the pupil power of Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan as soon as possible. Just at this very moment, Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Naruto, father and son, erupted the power of the terrifying Nine Tails. 2 huge golden Nine Tails demon fox heads guarded them like Susanoo. And the 2 of them, at the same time, erupted the strongest secret of Nine Tails Jinchuriki, the strongest strike together. Nine Tails Tailed Beast Bomb. At this moment, Uzumaki Naruto and Namikaze Minato, father and son, raised the power of Nine Tails Jinchuriki to ultimate at the same time, and at the same time broke out the ultimate secret, Nine Tails Tailed Beast Bomb. Immediately, the berserk Nine Tails chakra erupted crazily, violently condensed and compressed, and turned into 2 Nine Tails Tailed Beast Bombs that were bigger than the body of the Nine Tails Demon Fox. Suddenly, they bombarded the Six Paths Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara, and the 10 Tails Split Body army on the opposite side of the battlefield. Boom. Boom. All of a sudden, the sky is turned upside down, the earth shakes and the mountains shake, sand and rocks fly, and the sky falls and the earth cracks. The entire battlefield was immediately blasted apart by Nine Tails Tailed Beast Bomb. The entire land was overturned, and the entire sky was annihilated, as if everything was swallowed by this terrifying explosion. The entire Ninja Alliance stared at this scene, and their eyes widened in disbelief for a moment. So, is that the power of the perfect Nine Tails Jinchuriki? Killer Bee smiled. That guy Naruto finally mastered the perfect Jinchuriki pattern? This is all thanks to my uncle, idiot, bastard, oh yeah. Qian Yu also smiled. The Nine Tails Tailed Beast Bomb released by the father and son at the same time? The power is really good. The blow was immediately intercepted by Six Paths Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara. Truth-seeking ball barrier. Perfect Susanoo. However, although the 2 of them could avoid it, the 10 Tails Split Body army was not so lucky. In just a split second, I didn't know that there were hundreds, thousands, and countless 10 Tails Split Bodies that were directly blown up to ashes, leaving no bones left. The power of this blow shocked the entire battlefield. The joint attack of Uzumaki Naruto and Namikaze Minato instantly boosted the morale of the entire ninja coalition. The powerhouses from other parties also immediately broke out with all their strength. For a moment, the 10 Tails Splinter army on the entire battlefield was completely defeated. However, the 10 Tails Split Body is a 10 Tails Split Body after all. Although it is impossible to have truly terrifying power, its own attack, defense, vitality, chakra, etc. are all very powerful. It is still very difficult for ordinary ninjas to deal with. The overall situation on the battlefield is still anxious. And at this moment, the battle between 2 Six Paths level powerhouses, Six Paths Qian Yu and Six Paths Uchiha Obito, became the key to determining the outcome of the entire battlefield. Facing Six Paths Uchiha Obito, Qian Yu broke out his real emperor. This is also the ability of 10 Tails Jinchuriki, and also the real power of Six Paths. However, apart from Uchiha Obito who can only manipulate the truth-seeking ball, and Chakra who manipulates 10 Tails, Qian Yu has already mastered the true Six Paths magic. In fact, Six Paths Uchiha Obito never showed the true power of Six Paths magic from beginning to end. Only Six Paths Uchiha Madara and Uzumaki Naruto, who has received Ashura's inheritance, can really skillfully use Six Paths fairy art. For example, Six Paths Uchiha Madara's Sage Art Yinden Lipai, Sage Art Landen Guangya, such as Uzumaki Naruto's Sage Art Magnet-style Rasengan, Sage Art Lava-style Spiral Shuriken, Sage Art Super-tailed Beast Spiral Shuriken, etc. This kind of power is the Six Paths magic in the true sense. At this moment, Qian Yu has already mastered this power. For a moment, he clasped his hands together suddenly, terrifying to the point of ultimate. The power of Six Paths that crushed all living beings exploded out. Six Paths Sage Art, Inorganic Reincarnation. Qian Yu combined the magic of Ryuchi Cave with the power of Six Paths, and the two perfectly blended together, erupting the magic of Six Paths in the true sense. Immediately, boom, boom, boom. The ground on the entire battlefield began to roar, crazily vibrated, and the whole thing was overturned, as if some world-killing monster woke up from the ground. With a roar, it roared out, turned into a gigantic monster, and bit at Six Paths Uchiha Obito. This scale, compared to the inorganic reincarnation of the Ryuchi Cave immortal art, is more than 1,000 times and 100 times. And the power contained in it is not comparable to the magic of Ryuchi Cave. Six Paths Uchiha Obito turned pale with fright, and immediately manipulated the truth-seeking ball into a barrier, trying to resist Qian Yu's terrifying blow. But the next moment, click, click. In just a split second, the barrier transformed by the truth-seeking ball was violently bitten open by the inorganic reincarnation of the Six Paths fairy art, and the earth monster summoned, burst and shattered directly. Bite hard towards Six Paths Uchiha Obito himself. Six Paths Uchiha Obito turned pale with fright, and instantly raised his arm again. Blood-red chakra erupted from the scales on his back, rising like a flame. Cross on fire. Immediately, a series of huge blood-red chakra shot out crazily, like the arms and tails of 10 tails, and suddenly propped up in all directions. Dangerously and dangerously, at the last moment, the power of Six Paths Sage Art's inorganic reincarnation was resisted for a moment, and the hand of 10 tails chakra supported the bloody mouth of the huge monster. That gave Six Paths Uchiha Obito a chance to break free. But it was only for a moment, and the next moment 10 tails chakra's hand was also broken by the bite. This terrifying power left everyone on the battlefield stunned. Uchiha Madara couldn't help being shocked too. Uchiha Obito is now Jinchuriki of 10 tails, a real peak powerhouse at the Six Paths level, but in the hands of Qian Yu, it still seems powerless to fight back. What kind of power is this? Even Uchiha Madara can't imagine it. Senju Hashirama and others also couldn't help sighing. Is this the power of the contemporary ninja master? Qian Yu. He is indeed invincible. The entire ninja coalition army cheered and jumped up, roaring excitedly one by one. Mizukage-sama is invincible. Long live the handsome president. Wukage, Jiraiya, Hitaki Kakashi, Might Guy, Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke and other powerful people are looking at this scene one by one, shocked and excited. Immediately, the situation on the entire battlefield tilted in Qian Yu's direction. Six Paths Uchiha Obito was beaten into a mess. He sneered and wiped bloodline from the corner of his mouth. Qian Yu. Don't bully people too much. Let me show you in the whole ninja world, the real power of Tao. In an instant, he slammed his hands together, and a huge eye appeared from behind, with blood-red pupils and rippled lines, surrounded by 9 tomo. It is reincarnation Sharingan. Afterwards, the eyes expanded violently, and the entire huge body was also released. It was a part of the 10 tails body that finally descended on the battlefield again. Moreover, after a part of 10 tails body descended again, Six Paths Uchiha Obito immediately manipulated him, releasing 10 tails ultimate Uchiha. 10 tails tailed beast bomb. Six Paths Uchiha Obito thought himself invincible, stepped into the realm of Six Paths, and became the Jinchuriki of 10 tails. He wanted to kill the quartet, and even Uchiha Madara didn't pay attention. However, as soon as Qian Yu arrived, all his fantasies were shattered immediately. Not only Qian Yu has also stepped into the realm of Six Paths, even the use of the power of Six Paths is more proficient and pure than himself, and he has even mastered the real Six Paths fairy art. Beat Six Paths Uchiha Obito to hell. This made Six Paths Uchiha Obito furious in an instant, and all the previous hatred, and anger erupted here in an instant, causing him to release a more powerful force suddenly. Directly released the main body of 10 tails again, and now 10 tails, which has entered the third form, immediately let out a roar. For 10 hours, the entire battlefield did not collapse. And 6 paths Uchiha Obito, standing on top of Ten Tails' head, a chakra pipe appeared in the back of his head, manipulating the power of Ten Tails. At this time, he is already the Jinchuriki of Ten Tails, but he still needs to constantly inject his own chakra and power to fully control the power of Ten Tails. Qian Yu, you are too deceitful. Just let you see, the real strongest power of Ten Tails Jinchuriki. For a moment, Ten Tails tailed beast bomb. This time, the Ten Tails tailed beast bomb is in the shape of a cone, like a blood-red water drop, blasting towards the direction of the entire ninja alliance. Immediately, all the ninja coalition forces turned pale with fright. Everyone knew the horror of the tailed beast bomb, and the tailed beast bomb of 8 tails and 9 tails could already destroy the world. Not to mention the 10 tails that outshine all the 9-tailed beasts. If this 10 tails tailed beast bomb really explodes on the battlefield, it may directly annihilate the entire ninja coalition army. Senju Hashirama and others, together with Gokage, Jiraiya and other powerhouses immediately changed their expressions, and were ready to launch the most powerful defensive secret technique to intercept. But at this moment, a scene that stunned everyone appeared. The figure of Qian Yu appeared in front of the ninja coalition forces, driving the beast of the earth transformed from the inorganic reincarnation of the 6-path celestial art, and stopped everyone in front of them. And that terrifying monster that contains the 6 paths fairy art has a terrifying body shape that far exceeds that of the perfect Susanoo, basically surpassing the weight of the sage art wood style by thousands of Fengding Wafahui. Facing the tailed beast bomb of 10 tails, this gigantic 6 paths fairy beast suddenly opened its mouth wide open, swallowing the 10 tails tailed beast bomb in one gulp. The 10 tails tailed beast bomb, which is enough to destroy the world, was swallowed like this. For a moment, 6 paths Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara, and everyone in the entire ninja alliance were all stunned. Their eyes widened, their mouths grew wide, and they couldn't speak at all. But even if swallowed, the 10 tails tailed beast bomb is about to explode. But at this moment, with a thought in Qian Yu's mind, an unimaginably terrifying cold air shot out from under his feet, and instantly reached the belly of the 6 paths fairy monster, directly freezing the entire space, and completely crushing the 10 tails tailed beast bomb that was about to explode. Frozen, healed all history. What? 6 paths Uchiha Obito turned pale with shock, not to mention seeing such a thing, he couldn't even imagine it. The 10 tails tailed beast bomb, which can destroy everything and has the power to destroy everything, was swallowed by Qian Yu's power in one gulp, and it didn't make any waves at all? Uchiha Madara was also shocked. What kind of power is that? In addition to the 6 paths fairy art, is there any ability to freeze space? The entire ninja coalition was also stunned, and then, cheers like a mountain roar and a tsunami erupted. The president is handsome and invincible. Qian Yu smiled slightly. Uchiha Obito, is your 10 tails tailed beast bomb only at this level? What a disappointment. 6 paths Uchiha Obito was so angry that he looked up to the sky and roared, Qian Yu. He never expected that even an offensive of the level of 10 tails tailed beast bomb could not do anything to Qian Yu at all. For a moment, with the anger of 6 paths Uchiha Obito, the shape of the entire 10 tails changed again. But this time, the form of 10 tails has gradually become the ultimate form. That is the so-called God Tree. That's right. From this moment, 10 tails finally evolved into the final form, or in other words, returned to the most original form, which is the body of 10 tails, the divine tree. All of a sudden, the tails began to turn into roots, deeply rooted into the depths of the earth, and the whole body suddenly rose from the ground, broke through the ground, and turned into huge tree trunks, branches, vines, stretching away in all directions. Even huge flowers suddenly bloomed from the side of the tree trunk, releasing in all directions like a hill. 6 paths Uchiha Obito was suspended in midair, and suddenly he clasped his hands together again. Then try this trick and see how you can intercept it. Da. He snapped his hands together, and the flowers on the trunk of the entire sacred tree bloomed in 4 directions in an instant, and the terrifying 10 tails tailed beast chakra condensed and compressed crazily, turning into 4 10 tails tailed beasts bomb. Moreover, unlike the previous 10 tails tailed beast bomb in the form of a cone, this time it is the ultimate form of the 10 tails god tree, and the 10 tails tailed beast bomb has also reached the most complete, peak and perfect form. Ultimate 10 tails tailed beast bomb. It has been transformed into a perfect sphere again, full of unimaginable power of violent tailed beasts, and original chakra, blood red and dark black are mixed together, blending into one place, contains a terrifying calendar area that is enough to destroy the world. These 4 ultimate 10 tails tailed beast bombs are so big that they even surpass the body of 10 tails. Moreover, it is ready to go in all directions of the entire battlefield. Besides, 6 paths. Uchiha Obito clasped his hands together violently. 6 Scarlet Sun Formation. Suddenly, from the 5 scales on the back, the blood-red chakra burst out again, turned into a huge 10 tails chakra arm, and ignited the entire battlefield. Afterwards, the huge blood-red chakra enchantment suddenly rose up, completely enveloping the entire battlefield and intercepting it. A huge 6-sided barrier seal exploded, enveloping everyone in the entire ninja alliance, centered on the sacred tree and 6 paths Uchiha Obito. With the bombardment of 4 ultimate 10 tailed beast bombs, the destructive power and lethality have been upgraded to ultimate. Obviously, 6 paths Uchiha Obito is preparing to completely sweep the entire battlefield with this blow, killing all the Ninja Alliance forces, and of course including the most hated and most powerful enemy in his life. 6 paths Uchiha Obito let out a roar, and 4 ultimate 10 tailed beast bombs shot out at the same time towards the entire ninja coalition army surrounded by the 6 red sun formations. Under the roar of 6 paths Uchiha Obito, he first launched the 6 red sun formation, and then summoned the 10 tails ultimate form of the sacred tree, and released a total of 4 10 tails ultimate tailed beast bombs. This time, they are preparing to sweep the entire battlefield and kill them all. For a moment, all the ninja coalition forces couldn't help being shocked and terrified. If such a force really exploded, the entire ninja coalition army would definitely be wiped out. Compared with the threat of the previous 10 tailed beast bomb, it is more than 10 times 100 times. What's more, even if you want to escape, there is still no way to retreat due to the defensive interception of the 6 Scarlet Sun formation. Senju Hashirama frowned. Madara, wait for the battle between you and me, your companion is too messy. Uchiha Madara smiled. Hashirama, you and I are now the bodies of impure world reincarnation. Even if they are all destroyed, they can be restored again. As for other ants, what is it if they die? Don't worry about it, keep fighting. Senju Hashirama had no choice but to help other ninja coalition forces at all. Senju Tobirama was going to try the Flying Thunder God technique, but he was also blocked by Uchiha Izuna and couldn't do both. At this time, Namikaze Minato was intercepted by Uchiha Shisui again. Uzumaki Naruto, along with Killer Bee, Jiraiya, Hitaki Kakashi, Might Guy, Uchiha Sasuke and others, are sweeping up those 10 tails splinters. And at this time, the time for Uzumaki Naruto's first Kurama mode was up, and it only lasted about 5 minutes at most, but it was pretty good for the first perfect Jinchuriki form. Damn it, I could use 9 tailed beast bomb to resist it, but now I'm afraid. Kurama, is there still chakra? 9 Tails shook his head. Just enter the perfect Jinchuriki mode, it must take a certain amount of time to reaccumulate chakra. Killer Bee was also gasping for breath. He started fighting Jinchuriki 6 paths, and now he has been fighting fiercely for a long time, and he has reached his limit. Hitaki Kakashi immediately said, I can use Kamui to transfer one. However, the tailed beast bomb of 10 tails is too large, I'm afraid I can't do it. Might Guy said. Then, I use the 8 inner gates formation's 8 gates formation. Don't do something stupid, Guy. Wouldn't you be sacrificing yourself then? But, just at this very moment, dust escape, boundary stripping technique. A roar came suddenly, it was 3rd Tsuchikage and Onoki. He finally launched his own ultimate secret technique, which is 100 times more powerful than Tong Yuanji stripping technique, Dust Dao, my limit stripping technique. This is the strongest dust escape mystery that can only be erupted under the healing of Tsunade and the blessing of chakra. Whether it is scale, scope or power itself, it is far beyond the original stripping technique. With the joint efforts of the 2 cage-level powerhouses, the dust escape boundary peeling technique exploded, suddenly turned into a huge cube-white enchantment and instantly swallowed one of 10 tailed beast bomb directly. In the original work, this move once eliminated the 25 Susanoo of Uchiha Madara directly and instantly. And at this time, an ultimate 10 tailed beast bomb will be annihilated directly. Everyone was taken aback immediately, and then they cheered and cheered loudly. However, after all, it only wiped out one of the tailed beast bombs. The remaining 3 are still blasting towards the entire battlefield and throwing them away. At this time, all the ninja coalition forces also pinned their last hope on that man. Of course, he is known as the master of the ninja world, the president of the 5 major ninja coalition forces, and the only savior today. On Qian Yu's body. Qian Yu didn't hesitate at all, and still had a confident smile on his face. He stretched out his arms toward the sacred tree and the remaining 3 ultimate 10 tailed beast bombs. For a moment, in the eyes of 6 paths Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara, and the entire ninja alliance, a scene of stunned people appeared. Buzz. Following Qian Yu's thoughts, the entire space was suddenly frozen in ice. The 3 ultimate 10 tailed beast bombs that were about to burst out at any time were all frozen inside, unable to explode at all, let alone be launched. As if time has stood still here, stagnated. This moment, everyone was completely dumbfounded. 6 Paths Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara watched this scene in disbelief. In fact, 6 Paths Uchiha Obito has long known Qian Yu's ability. His ice escape ninjutsu seems to have been upgraded to ultimate, which can freeze space, and even forcibly restrain his own Kamui pupil power, unable to divert and devour, let alone escape. But Qian Yu at that time, the frozen space was only a few meters away, and the time could only be an instant or even 10 seconds. But now, with a wave of Qian Yu's hand and a thought, the space with a radius of hundreds of meters was immediately frozen by ice, and the duration was also how many times longer. Looking at this scene, Qian Yu is very satisfied with his current power to freeze space. During this period of time, he certainly has not been idle, waiting for Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara. Instead, he has continued to improve his strength. Mainly in 2 aspects. One is 10 Tails Jinchuriki, that is, the improvement of the power of 6 paths, devouring and absorbing more branches and roots of the sacred tree, so that Qian Yu's power of 6 paths is already very deep and rich, and even mastered a true 6 paths fairy tale. On the other hand, nature is the continued development of frozen fruits abilities. Today's Qian Yu has completely mastered the frozen space. The scope can extend from a very small space to hundreds of meters or thousands of meters. The duration of the frozen space has also changed from less than a second at the beginning to now increased tens of times to hundreds of times. In other words, Qian Yu can now freeze thousands of meters of space at will, and it will last for a long time. Dozens of seconds to 100 seconds doesn't sound like a very long time. But you must know that in this battlefield, the outcome can be decided in an instant, let alone more than a minute. Qian Yu instantly froze the sacred tree and the 3 ultimate 10 tailed beast bombs, leaving everyone stunned and shocked. And then, he suddenly released the ability to freeze the space, and counterattack the 3 ultimate 10 tailed beast bombs in the direction of 6 Paths Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara, and the remaining 10 tails split body army respectively, and go. This moment, Qian Yu is like a god coming to the world. Qian Yu instantly used the frozen fruit ability that was developed to ultimate, not only instantly freezing the sacred tree and 3 ultimate 10 tailed beast bombs, but also manipulating the 3-tailed beast bombs, blasting them towards the enemy. Shot at 6 Paths Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara and those 10 tails splinter armies. For a moment, both 6 Paths Uchiha Obito and Uchiha Madara have changed faces. However, 6 Paths Uchiha Obito is also a 10 tails Jinchuriki after all, although facing the 10 tailed beast bomb, he still did not fall into despair. With a roar, he immediately manipulated the truth-seeking ball behind him, turned into an unprecedented huge black barrier, and blocked it in front of him. Just for a split second, the 10 tailed beast bomb slammed into the truth-seeking ball barrier. Boom. 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 The terrifying explosion came in an instant, and the sky fell apart for a while, and the sun and the moon were dark. Even with the barrier defense of the truth-seeking ball, 6 Paths Uchiha Obito was still violently blasted out, and the whole person couldn't help spitting out big mouthfuls of blood. In the current state, he cannot use Kamui's pupil power to avoid attacks. Although the power has greatly increased, but in terms of defense, it has declined. With this blow, even 10 tails Jinchuriki's 6 Paths Uchiha Obito was hit hard. And the other side. Facing the tailed beast bomb of 10 tails, Uchiha Madara burst out with all his strength in an instant, controlled the full-body Susanoo, brandished the chakra sword, and slammed back at the 10 tailed beast bomb. Boom. 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 In an instant, a violent explosion exploded, and the whole world seemed to be obliterated by the flames of the explosion. For a while, no one could hear any sound or see any pictures. But 10 tailed beast bomb is not so easy to intercept after all. Uchiha Madara's full-body Susanoo chakra sword, although also very terrifying, was still blasted by the aftermath of the explosion, and this aftermath was still coming towards Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara sneered. His eyes instantly transformed from Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan to Rinnegan, and suddenly activated Rinnegan's pupil power. Shenluo Tianzheng. Boom. In an instant, the terrifying repulsive force crazily dispersed, and the aftermath of the explosion was finally ejected, and the surrounding 10 tails split-body army was instantly blasted away. Not to mention how many died directly in the aftermath of the explosion. The aftermath alone is so terrifying, not to mention, the last 10 tailed beast bomb manipulated by Qian Yu exploded directly towards the 10 tails split body army. Just for a moment, the 10 tails splinter army was completely annihilated by this terrifying explosion, and the earth turned into a huge pit, like a deep valley and abyss. As for these 10 tails split bodies, an unknown number of them were turned into ashes and nothingness in a short time, and the number was beyond count. This operation by Qian Yu instantly froze the divine tree and the 10 tailed beast bomb, and then manipulated the 10 tailed beast bomb to counterattack and return, severely injuring 6 paths Uchiha Obito, repelling Uchiha Madara, and splitting 10 tails into the army in an instant destruction by companions. This blow established Qian Yu's legendary status. 6 paths Uchiha Obito roared, "Qian Yu, where on earth did you get such power? This is impossible. Obviously I have obtained all the truths of this ninja world, and even became the supreme 10 tails Jinchuriki. Why can't I still surpass your strength?" Qian Yu smiled lightly. "I've said it many times, the so-called truth you get is just a drop in the ocean. To me, you are just a frog in a well, and you can't see the real world at all. Since the knowledge is so shallow, the power will naturally not be so strong. Uchiha Obito, until now, don't you understand that the gap between you and me is like an abyss?" 6 paths Uchiha Obito roars, "I don't believe it. The me now is the existence above Senju Hashirama, the god of ninja, and Uchiha Madara, the peak myth above the entire ninja world, the second 10 tails Jinchuriki in the entire ninja world, the second sage of 6 paths. You can't defeat my strength, for a moment." 6 paths Uchiha Obito burst out with the last chakra and power. The power of the 6 paths was all integrated into the palm of my hand, and injected into the truth-seeking ball, casting a jet black spear like a DNA double helix structure. The whole body is pitch black, with a spiral structure, like a ladder, connected by a series of blacks. This is the artifact used by Sage of 6 Paths to create this world, and its name is Amamar Spear. Qian Yu, no matter how powerful you are, you can't be compared with Sage of 6 Paths. Let you die under this 6 Paths artifact. Qian Yu smiled slightly. Tianmao Spear. Yes, this is indeed the artifact of Sage of 6 Paths, but it depends on who uses it. The Tianmao Spear is the so-called sword of the heart, reflecting the heart and soul of the user. If your will is really indestructible, the Tianmao Spear will never be broken. But unfortunately, Uchiha Obito, you are not as determined as you think. 6 Paths Uchiha Obito was shocked at first. He didn't expect Qian Yu to know all the mysteries of the Tianmar Spear so clearly. But then, when he heard Qian Yu's words, he couldn't help becoming furious. Impossible. No one can contest my will. I, Uchiha Obito, are destined to be the savior who will bring the entire ninja world into the fantasy world. No one can stop it, and neither do you. After saying this, 6 Paths Uchiha Obito, brandishing the Tianmar Spear fiercely, launched a final onslaught towards Qian Yu. Qian Yu shook his head. He only said one sentence, stubborn and incompetent, overestimated. Subsequently, in his hand, there also appeared a pitch-black divine sword, the treasure of the Sage of 6 Paths, the Tianmar Spear. It's just that the Tianmar Spear in Qian Yu's hand was infused with his own will and fused with his other powers. Frozen fruit develops to ultimate, the horror of frozen space. Ryuchi Cave Senjutsu, Rinnegan pupil power, Mangekyo Sharingan pupil power, Hashirama cells, wood-style secret technique, 10 tails Jinchuriki, 6 paths power, 6 paths Senjutsu, yin-yang escape, truth-seeking ball. All kinds of ninjutsu, taijutsu, secret technique, forbidden technique, blood succession boundary. All of them were integrated into this Tianmar Spear. Also integrated into it is Qian Yu's majesty and Haki as the master of the current ninja world, and the supreme will to change the world and dominate the world. In an instant, Qian Yu's Tianmar Spear suddenly bombarded 6 Paths Uchiha Obito's Tianmar Spear. This moment, everyone on the entire battlefield seemed to have stopped fighting. Time seemed to have stood still at this moment. All eyes were on Qian Yu and 6 Paths Uchiha Obito's final blow. The two Sage of 6 Paths artifacts, the Tianmar Spear, collided and intertwined in an instant. In an instant, the void oscillates, the sky and the earth roared. This unimaginable terrifying power was gathered in this blow. 2 of the 6 Paths artifacts, the Tianmar Spear, with the power to create and destroy the world, have appeared, and they are still fighting endlessly. 6 Paths Uchiha Obito let out a roar, integrating all the pain, sorrow, remorse, sadness, anger, unwillingness, despair, etc. that he had suffered in his entire life into this blow. Qian Yu was not as exaggerated as he was. It doesn't need to be that exaggerated. Whether it is his own strength, the mastery of the power of 10 tails Jinchuriki and 6 paths, or the strength of his own will and soul, Qian Yu is far above Uchiha Obito. With this blow, the outcome has already been determined. He injected his own strength and will, and a terrifying aura that surpassed the will of the Sage of Six Paths artifact emerged from the Tianmarsh spear. In an instant, boom, boom, boom. The entire sky and the earth were torn apart by the bombardment of the two Tianmarsh spears. The sky is falling apart, the sun and the moon are dark. But, it was only for an instant. Next moment. Boom. Bang bang bang. Six Paths Uchiha Obito was extremely shocked and terrified to see that the Amanuma spear in his hand started to be repelled, and then inch broken. Click. Click. This sound didn't sound very violent, nor was it loud, but in the ears of Six Paths Uchiha Obito, it seemed like the roar of the sky collapsing. The Tianmarsh spear in his hand began to break apart inch by inch, section by section. This signifies that his so-called immortal will has no force to counteract it at all compared to Qian Yu. Also, marks the final desperation of Six Paths Uchiha Obito. Suddenly, with a sound, the Tianmarsh spear in the hands of Six Paths Uchiha Obito was completely shattered, and was blasted into pieces by Ziyu's tears of heaven. And then, the Tianmarsh spear in Qian Yu's hand cut through in an instant, completely piercing Six Paths Uchiha Obito's body. Six Paths Uchiha Obito was completely stunned for a moment. It was as if everything was lost. The will no longer exists. He stared blankly at the huge hole in his body. That was the last hope penetrated by Qian Yu. Now, all is gone. The next moment, boom. With the power of another 10 tails Jinchuriki, Qian Yu summoned all the power of the tail beast in Uchiha Obito's body, and completely stripped him from his body. This process has never been smoother. It's not like in the original work, where the tug of war took a long time. In Qian Yu's case, it was just pulled out in an instant. And these tailed beasts broke away from Uchiha Obito's body, immediately fell to the ground, and turned into 9 big-tailed beasts one by one. Among them, 1 tail Shuhei, 4 tails Sun Wukong, and 5 tails Kakuo are all complete bodies. The other 6 big-tailed beasts are only incomplete bodies composed of a part of chakra, but they also have the form of tailed beasts. After all, the tailed beast was originally created by chakra. And this time, Uchiha Obito, who was completely defeated by Qian Yu, lost all his strength in an instant, and suddenly fell from a high altitude. Finally, it hit the ground hard, boom. In an instant, everyone on the entire battlefield was silent, and there was no sound. Uchiha Madara looked at this scene, but there was a gloomy smile on the corner of his mouth. As if, all of this was in his plan. Qian Yu glanced at the fallen Uchiha Obito and didn't care. In his eyes, Uchiha Obito was nothing more than a transition. He never considered him a real enemy at all. What Qian Yu really wants to fight against is not even Uchiha Madara, not Otsutsuki Kagaya, but the Otsutsuki planet, the Otsutsuki family. That is the real greatest threat to this universe. For that, he needs to bring 10 tails back to life, and even Otsutsuki Kagaya. At this point, it could even be said that both he and Black Zetsu have the same goal. So, defeating Uchiha Obito, then making Uchiha Madara the second 10 tails Jinchuriki, and resurrecting Otsutsuki Kagaya is both Black Zetsu's plan and Qian Yu's, so to speak. At this time, the tailed beasts on the ground all looked in Qian Yu's direction. You saved us. Qian Yu said indifferently, it's sort of. 5 tails Kakuo said, thank you, although you are also human. Maybe you are not the same as Uchiha Obito, Uchiha Madara and others. 4 tails Sun Wu Sky's path. Is it really like this? He did save us, but maybe he just wanted to borrow our strength again. 1 tail Shuhei also said sharply, that's right. Qian Yu shook his head disdainfully, without even looking at them. Just looked in the direction of Uchiha Madara. These tailed beasts were stunned for a moment, and then they understood. Since Qian Yu has the power to defeat the 10 tails Jinchuriki, he doesn't need these tailed beasts, these weak-tailed beasts at all. That's right, in his eyes, the power of these tailed beasts known as natural disasters is nothing more than that. For a moment, the 9 tailed beasts looked at each other, and couldn't help showing a wry smile. And at the same time, Uchiha Obito, Namikaze Minato, and Hitaki Kakashi stepped forward as they watched the fiasco dying and falling. Hitaki Kakashi sighed, not knowing what to say for a moment. Uchiha Obito was heartbroken at the moment, as if walking dead. Kakashi, Minato-sensei, I still lost. Qian Yu. That man is too powerful, I am no match for him at all. Namikaze Minato glanced at Qian Yu, who was suspended in the midair high above, reigning over the world like a god of war, commanding the heroes, and couldn't help feeling deeply moved. Indeed, he may be in existence beyond the god of ninjas, Lord First Hokage. Obito, even if you lose to him, you don't want to challenge Tuju. Uchiha Obito smiled bitterly, isn't it wrong? Maybe. Anyway, I have already suffered a crushing defeat. Now I have nothing, even the obsession to destroy the world has disappeared. Kakashi, kill me, just like you killed Rin. At least, let her and I be reunited in another world. Hitaki Kakashi wanted to do it, but then he looked at Qian Yu, who was high above the sky. Only he has the right to decide the life and death of Uchiha Obito. For a while, everyone was waiting for Qian Yu's final trial. Of course, Qian Yu didn't have any affection for Uchiha Obito. This is nothing more than a so-called middle school boy who is trapped by love and tries to destroy the world. Moreover, he killed teachers and relatives, committed all kinds of evil, and brought endless disasters and wars to this ninja world. Such a person does not deserve the opportunity to be cleansed. There is no doubt about his fate, there is only one, and that is death. Of course, Uchiha Obito is still useful to Qian Yu at this moment. He is a must for resurrecting Uchiha Madara, and even Otsutsuki Kagaya. Then, Qian Yu said calmly, I leave it to you. Namikaze Minato and Hitaki Kakashi nodded, and Uchiha Obito smiled wryly, that would be great. Kakashi, Minato-sensei, do it yourself. Hitaki Kakashi said, Obito. I have to tell you the truth about Lin's death that year. Uchiha Obito shook his head, no need, Kakashi. I know Lin died by your hands on purpose. Hitaki Kakashi was taken aback. You know? Uchiha Obito said, because, I witnessed the whole process. So he told what he saw and what happened back then. After Hitaki Kakashi passed out, he activated the Mangekyo Sharingan, unleashed the Hell Rebellion, slaughtered all the Kirigakure Anbu ninjas, and finally fell into blackness. Hitaki Kakashi and Namikaze Minato frowned. Obito, since you know that Lin died at my hands, why? Uchiha Obito said, I didn't become like this just because of Lin's death. What I really hate is this ninja world, this cruel world that has been creating waste and tragedy. I don't want to live in this kind of world, so I want to create a perfect world where everyone can realize their dreams. Namikaze Minato shook his head and said, Obito, you think too much, that kind of world doesn't exist, even a dream will eventually wake up one day. Tragedy does make us suffer, but it also reflects the beauty of the world. As human beings, we have to endure pain and look forward to good things to live on. Kakashi, did you do that too? Hitaki Kakashi was silent. Uchiha Obito murmured, should we live in pain and hope for happiness? Perhaps, that is indeed a choice. Unfortunately, I have no chance to turn back. Hitaki Kakashi and Namikaze Minato did not refute. They didn't say that now that you are not dead, there is still a chance to make amends and atone for your sins. Because, all this is not up to them to decide. Although Qian Yu entrusted the two of them to deal with Uchiha Obito, if it was because of the friendship between master and apprentice in the righteousness of companions, then Qian Yu would definitely not mind executing them both. Hitaki Kakashi sighed. Indeed, if you did something wrong, you did something wrong. We have no right to forgive you for anything. What's more, Teacher Minato and his wife were also killed by you. Uchiha Obito nodded. Indeed. Namikaze Minato was silent. Uchiha Obito said weakly. Actually, I now have the ability to resurrect the dead, but unfortunately, they are not here. Minato-sensei, I can bring you back to life as well, so it can be considered as making up for something? Namikaze Minato was taken aback for a moment, he really hadn't thought about this question. But then, he said, if possible, you should give priority to resurrecting those who died in this war. That would be a better atonement. Uchiha Obito said, this is not contradictory, Mr. Minato. I can activate the pupil power of Rinnegan, the outsider Rinne Tensai technique, and resurrect all ninjas on the battlefield, including you. Namikaze Minato. Can this be done? Uchiha Obito said, yes. Namikaze Minato also couldn't help but admit his heartbeat. Even if he himself has no regrets about the sacrifices he has made. But at least he, after all, wants to continue to accompany Uzumaki Naruto to make up for his lack of family and fatherly love. And, by doing so, Uchiha Obito would die too. It will not go against Qian Yu's will. For a while, Namikaze Minato hesitated. Hitaki Kakashi said, if that's the case, you have indeed atoned for some of your sins, Obito. Lin will be delighted, too. Uchiha Obito nodded, and then clasped his hands together. ready to launch the seal of Rinne Tensai technique. However, at this time, Black Zetsu appeared. Just like in the original story, Black Zetsu popped out of the ground, possessed Uchiha Obito, and immediately manipulated his will. In a split second, Uchiha Obito unleashes the outside lane Rinne Tensai technique. However, the object of resurrection has changed from Namikaze Minato and the dead ninjas to Uchiha Madara. At this moment, Uchiha Obito, Namikaze Minato and Hitaki Kakashi were all taken aback. But Qian Yu didn't stop this from happening. He could, but he didn't. Then, in the shocked eyes of the entire ninja coalition army, under the stunned gaze of everyone, Uchiha Madara, completely revived. From the fierce battle with Senju Hashirama, he flew out suddenly, retreated towards the rear, and flew to the high stone pillar. Senju Hashirama also looked at Uchiha Madara with a frown. Madara, you Uchiha Madara looked at her body at the moment, a real body of flesh and blood, and couldn't help but feel deeply moved and excited. Then, he actually bit his own arm. Bite out the blood directly. However, looking at the gurgling blood and the severe pain, Uchiha Madara laughed out loud instead. Ha ha ha. This blood, this pain, this is the real flesh and blood. Hashirama, the me now, finally regained the feeling of blood boiling when I was fighting with you back then. Senju Hashirama was shocked. You resurrected? So, Uchiha Obito's Rinne Tensai technique was transferred to you just now? At this moment, Black Zetsu let go of Uchiha Obito again, allowing him to regain his will. But at this time, he was on the verge of death, panting heavily and extremely weak. Uchiha Madara, you. Uchiha Madara laughed loudly. Uchiha Obito, you have finally completed your final mission, which is to revive me Uchiha Madara. Now, you can rest in peace, Project Tsuki no Mi. After all, I still have to rely on my strength to execute it myself, even. Next, the battle will officially begin. Now, Uchiha Obito was first manipulated by Gon Yu to remove all the nine-tailed beast's chakra, and then manipulated again by Uchiha Madara and Black Zetsu to activate the Rinne Tensai technique. Any one of them has already doomed him to die without a doubt. However, Black Zetsu sneered, don't worry, you won't die so easily. After all, you are also a person who has obtained the power of 6 paths. Moreover, the Jinchuriki of 10 tails is different from other Jinchuriki. It has both Gedo statue and chakra in its body. Now you, although you have been drawn out of the power of tailed beast, but the Gedo statue is still there. Even if the Gedo statue is also taken away, you who used to be the 10 tails Jinchuriki shouldn't die immediately. But at this moment, Uchiha Obito felt worse than death. First, it was defeated by Qian Yu again. Later, he wanted to make up for his sins, but was manipulated and controlled by Uchiha Madara and Black Zetsu, and instead resurrected Uchiha Madara. It can be said that the current him is really a complete failure and extremely desperate. Hitaki Kakashi also frowned. Obito. Namikaze Minato also said, the object of Rinne Tensai technique was transferred to Uchiha Madara? This is a bad time. Black Zetsu sneered. Uchiha Obito, you are just a pawn in Madara's hands. Do you really think you can dominate everything? However, you are very smart. You used Kakashi's hand to remove the spell from the heart in advance, but it's a pity that you didn't expect to have this hand. Uchiha Obito wanted to say something, but he just gasped and spit out a mouthful of blood. Black Zetsu sneered. Now, your era is completely over. Master Uchiha Madara is the real master of Ninja World. And right now, taking advantage of Uchiha Obito's weakness and despair, Black Zetsu made a sudden attack. Actually dug out Uchiha Obito's Rinnegan. Of course, to be precise, this Rinnegan originally belonged to Uchiha Madara. Before Namikaze Minato and Hitaki Kakashi could react, Black Zetsu had already escaped into the ground again, heading towards Uchiha Madara. After Uchiha Madara was really resurrected, she gained flesh and blood, the power of life, and was laughing wildly. But the next moment, his pair of Rinnegans suddenly disappeared, turning into dust and ash and falling down. There is only one pair of Rinnegans in this world. In the state of impure world reincarnation, although the power of Rinnegans can be retained, it is impossible to continue to have them once revived. But Senju Hashirama and others immediately saw the opportunity and launched a fierce attack towards Uchiha Madara. While Madara's Rinnegan disappears, he must be stopped at this time. Senju Hashirama gave an order. Wu and many ninja allied forces frantically rushed towards Uchiha Madara. But Qian Yu still didn't make a move. As I said before, all this is just part of his plan. Facing the entire ninja alliance, Uchiha Madara just sneered. Even without Rinnegan, I, Uchiha Madara, am not something you ants can contend with. Fire style. Fire out, for a moment. Uchiha Madara erupted with her own powerful fire style, and the fire was extinguished, forming a terrifying sea of flames that covered the sky and the sun in an instant, and charged towards the entire ninja coalition. All members of the water style squad were activated immediately, and water style chakra broke out at the same time. Water style. Water barrier. Gathering the strength of the entire water style squad, they finally resisted Uchiha Madara's fire style. But then, the rising steam diffused, covering the entire battlefield. Uchiha Madara took the opportunity to activate the fire style dragon flame singing technique, and a series of huge flames formed dragon heads, spraying towards the entire ninja coalition army. Fortunately, Senju Hashirama had also arrived at this time, and immediately used the power of wood style to resist the dragon flame song technique, saving countless allied ninja forces. HMPH, as expected, only Hashirama can counter my strength. Although Uchiha Madara couldn't see it at the moment, she could sense what happened. Senju Hashirama said in a deep voice, "Madara, we are already dead, we are people from the past, why should there be such a bloodbath?" Uchiha Madara closed her eyes and said, "Hashirama, you are dead, but I have been resurrected. So this era belongs to me, only you are the one from the past. You can't stop me. As long as I defeat Qian Yu again, the entire ninja world will be in my pocket." Senju Hashirama sighed, "It can't be helped. Sage art. Wood style. True several thousand hands." In an instant, Senju Hashirama finally broke out his ace trick at the bottom of the box, Sage art wood style true several thousand hands. Immediately, a huge wooden Buddha burst out, and the terrifying scope and scale were simply unimaginable. You know, the scale of wood style wooden golem jutsu is about the same as the full body Susanoo. But wooden golem jutsu is on top of the Buddha head of true several thousand hands at the moment, as if he was just a child. The corner of Uchiha Madara's mouth raised slightly. Is it the power of sage art wood style true several thousand hands? Hashirama, your move is really powerful, and I couldn't resist it at all when I was alive. It's a pity that the me now is no longer the me of the past. The power I have now is beyond your imagination. At this time, Black Zetsu also timely sent a Rinnegan that was captured from Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Madara took it casually and put it in his eye socket. Then, I opened my eyes. Rinnegan. Uchiha Madara finally regained a Rinnegan in real sense with flesh and blood. Next moment. Hashirama, let me show you my real power now. He suddenly activated Susanoo, the form of the double-faced god, and formed a seal with him, and then, Rinnegan's pupil power burst out. Tengai Shinsei. Immediately. In the stunned eyes of the entire ninja coalition army, a huge meteorite fell from the sky, passed through the clouds, and crashed down towards the entire battlefield. With such a terrifying size, if it really falls, the entire battlefield will probably be completely wiped out, and the remaining survivors will probably be no more than a handful of people. Senju Hashirama couldn't help but change his face drastically. This is Madara's Rinnegan pupil power? However, the matter has come to this point, there is no other way, we can only fight to the death. Sage art. Wood style. True several thousand hands, Buddha on top. At this moment, Uchiha Madara has regained a Rinnegan, and can finally burst into his true power. He instantly activated Rinnegan's pupil power, and directly summoned a huge meteorite that crashed down. It is the power of Rinnegan, Tengai Shinsei. Facing this blow, the entire ninja coalition army was shocked, extremely terrified. Senju Hashirama also frowned, and immediately burst out his own sage art wood style true several thousand hands topped Buddha, and bombarded towards Tengai Shinsei's huge meteorite. Immediately. Boom, boom. The power of the Buddha on the top of true several thousand hands crazily bombarded the meteorite that was about to fall, and immediately shattered the huge meteorite. It turned into countless meteorite fragments and fell down. However, even so, these fragmented meteorites can still cause unimaginable heavy casualties. Then, all ninja coalition forces began to release defensive ninjutsu to resist. Onoki of the two scales even broke out the dust escape secret technique again, and directly used the technique of stripping the original world, turning some of the meteorite fragments into nothingness. Kage Gaara raised his hands violently, creating a large amount of sand and turning it into a huge barrier. It is his defensive ninjutsu, the empty sand barrier. Other ninjas also released defensive ninjutsu or offensive ninjutsu one after another, breaking the meteorite fragments into smaller pieces, turning them into rags and dust and flying away. Uzumaki Naruto shot out a wind-style spiral shuriken directly. Uchiha Sasuke also used the power of Susanoo to launch the flame control arrow and shoot away. Tsunade, Terumi Mei, Jiraiya, Orochimaru, Hitaki Kakashi, Might Guy, Namikaze Minato, Senju Tobirama. All the ninjas also went all out to resist these shattered meteorite fragments. Finally, with the joint efforts of all the ninja coalition forces, the entire meteorite was completely smashed, and the casualties were reduced to the minimum. Uchiha Madara also couldn't help snorting. Hashirama's Sage Art Wood style true several thousand hands has Buddha on top, plus the combined force of the entire ninja alliance. It's really good, but how do you deal with the second one? For a moment, boom, boom. Tengai Shinsei's second blow, the second huge meteorite, slammed through the clouds, and once again crashed down in the direction of the ninja alliance. For a moment, even Senju Hashirama and Gokuge's level of powerhouses couldn't help but change their expressions. But Uchiha Madara didn't pay attention to it, and went in the direction of the nine-tailed beasts instead. Whether Tengai Shinsei can sweep the entire battlefield is not important to him. All he did was to hold everyone back so that he could take care of the nine-tailed beasts, make himself a real 10 tails Jinchuriki again, and step into the realm of 6 paths. But at this moment, the entire ninja coalition faced the second Tengai Shinsei, and was still in shock for a while. Qian Yu sighed. You can only do it yourself. He originally wanted to see how far the ninja coalition could resist. It doesn't seem to be the case now. Then, Qian Yu raised his arm in an instant. The ability of frozen fruit has been developed to ultimate, and an extremely powerful freezing cold burst out in an instant. Freeze space. Buzz. In an instant, the sky and space above the entire battlefield were completely frozen. The huge meteorite that was falling was also directly frozen in midair. As if time had stood still, the downward trend had stopped so straightly. The entire ninja coalition was stunned, as if they saw a fairy. And then, Qian Yu clenched his fist even more violently. Boom. The frozen space actually began to shatter. And that huge meteorite was completely turned into powder, dust, ashes, nothingness along with the shattered space. Just for an instant. Qian Yu froze the space, smashed the meteorite, and easily broke Uchiha Madara's terrorist attack as if searching for something out of a bag. At this moment, in the eyes of all the ninja coalition forces, Qian Yu once again became a myth and a savior. Uchiha Madara also looked back, and her expression changed slightly. He also didn't expect that Tien Yu's power emperor had reached such a level. Looks like I have to become Jinchuriki of 10 tails soon. Now. Taking advantage of the opportunity created by Tengai Shinsei, Uchiha Madara immediately headed towards the direction of the 9-star beasts. The 9-tailed beasts that Qian Yu pulled out from Uchiha Obito's body before still on the battlefield, seeing the arrival of Uchiha Madara, all of them changed their expressions immediately. Everyone knows that the power of Uchiha Madara is far greater than that of Uchiha. If you were targeted by him, the consequences will be unimaginable. Especially 9 tails, he was once manipulated and controlled by Uchiha Madara. No one knows the horror of Uchiha Madara better than him. Uchiha Madara faced the 9-tailed beasts who made the whole ninja world call it a disaster. As if just looking at 9 beasts, Uchiha Madara slapped the ground suddenly. Summoning technique. Gedo statue, immediately. Boom. Boom. On the other side, Uchiha Obito was already dying. Chakra, who stripped the 9-tailed beasts, used the outsider Rinne Tensai technique, and even got a Rinnegan dug out by Black Zetsu. Now, the Gedo statue in the body was also summoned by Uchiha Madara in an instant, and was directly pulled out of his body again. With screams, Uchiha Obito became weaker, almost dying at any moment. But he still roared angrily. Minato-sensei, Kakashi, stop him, or Uchiha Madara will be invincible. Namikaze Minato and Hitaki Kakashi didn't hesitate. Immediately launched an onslaught towards the Gedo statue. 9 tails tailed beast bomb, Kamui. Both of them unleashed their most powerful blows. However, Gedo statue was successfully summoned by Uchiha Madara even though one arm was broken by Kamui and half of his body was blasted by 9 tails tailed beast bomb. Boom. Gedo statue appeared in front of Uchiha Madara, in front of the 9-tailed beasts. Uchiha Madara glanced at the dilapidated Gedo statue. Huh? It seems that there are also very capable guys over there. However, this is enough. He jumped up, jumped on top of Gedo statue's head, and then looked in the direction of the 9-tailed beasts. Now, it's time to cage you, brutes.